in the Rainbow Factory.
Hello everybody, welcome to the official second episode of Rainbow in the Dark with Tuck and Spirits.
It's a terrible name.
Shut up, you like Dio and you know it.
Nobody even knows who I am.
Well, yeah,
Why are we
do
here?
know who you
Why are we here?
Shut
Just to
up.
suffer.
It don't matter.
Everybody
Every night I
knows who
feel my
Tuck.
arm. Every night I feel my leg.
Everybody knows who Tuck is. For those of you who aren't aware, he's the other angry Animu child on our channel.
You just said everyone knew who he was.
For those who don't know, or just like, I don't know if there's any newcomers to this channel. I'm still getting subs. Besides the point, we're here with the second official one because the first one got fucked up beyond belief, and Tuck finally managed to get a decent audio recording device going. So, good for him. Anyway, our topics today are fighting games, sequels and prequels, and remakes and reboots. And to start off the conversation on fighting games, let's go with Tuck and about how Jordal's wrong about Central Fiction.
Oh yeah. Jordal. Okay, Jordal is over here complaining about how fucking everybody's complaining about the no dub for Central Fiction for over a fucking year. But the thing is, everybody was fucking complaining about Jube over here not being in the game for 4 years, basically. So what's the problem here? Especially when it's so asinine that the last game in the series doesn't have a fucking dub.
It falls more under inconsistency, if anything. It's when you set a precedent of having an English and a Japanese audio for your game, and then when the final game of your series comes out, and you decide not to cater to Western audiences, which make up over 52%.
You did that wrong. You decided not to spend money.
You decided not to spend money, decided to actually, not put any effort into that, and not cater to your Western audience, which might not always be the best idea, but the fact that you didn't cater to the audience that makes up 54% of your last game sales, more so if you consider the extended edition. So, yeah, Jordal has his head shoved up his ass, as do most of the sub-only community.
No, you
The
don't
people
understand.
who want the dub are the vocal minority.
Yeah.
54%!
Vocal minority. Sure, okay,
Yeah.
tell that to the sales. Okay, yeah, sure, alright.
Yeah, and speaking of Central Fiction, it's a good thing it's the last BlazBlue game, but it's terrible that they didn't add anything in, like, wait, did they add Teach Me
No.
Kokonoe?
No,
They
there's
didn't have
no
Teach Me
teaching us
No help me, Kokonoe, nothing.
nothing.
That's absolute ass.
In the demo, there was grammatical errors. There's still probably a grammatical error in the bullet arcade.
You must be the Red Devil, Makoto.
Like, what the fuck is this? So you're gonna sell me a game that doesn't have a dub, and then you're gonna have the subs not be correct? Sure, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then hold on. Every BlazBlue game since Calamity Shaker has had the pattern of weed out the casual and learn how to play the fucking game. Central Fiction did not do that. You know how fucking Chromatasma had that whole you can't loop the same special move over and over again for a combo?
Yeah.
Yep, they took that out. You can do that however you want now.
I don't know what you mean. 5 Fafners in a row is legitimate.
Fucking Fafner.
And then they fucking nerfed Bullet into Oblivion in this game for no reason.
Meanwhile,
What's-
Hawkman continues to get a buff with each game.
Well, Jin's still good in every BlazBlue game. Not as good as fucking... Well, Central Fiction's probably the best iteration of Jin.
You can jab and stop Wyvern.
You serious?
People think fucking Kagura's unplayable, and I'm sitting there like, really?
Oh yeah,
Kagura?
you can jab and stop Wyvern. I saw that with the fucking Susanoo video.
Like, people think Kagura's unplayable. This character, I mean... I love Bullet, okay?
Anyone who
Bullet's a
takes more than
secondary.
5 minutes to learn is unplayable.
I play Bullet, okay? I love playing as Bullet. The Bullet's fucking ass.
It reminds me of that one dumbass who didn't know how to use Hawkman. It's like saying, like, why is Hawkman so weak? Unaware of how to use a counter character or use
I just
any
don't
of
like
his...
BlazBlue. The game's too slow. You're using Hawkman.
You're using one of the slower characters who got a speed buff. in Chrono Phantasma and fucking Central Fiction, and now he has a forward charge to his counter.
Akuman had no combo game until Chrono Phantasma.
He really did, like,
He didn't need
did
it.
kind of, like, he did kind of, well, yeah, and Continuum Shift, he had a shit ton of damage output, but in terms of combo potential, he did have it, but you really had to work for it. And now Chrono Phantasma, it was a little bit more manageable, a bit easier, and I don't know about Central Fiction Hakumen. I need to get Central Fiction. I would like to see how much he has changed.
I stand by, no dub, no buy.
Yeah.
I think you could do the Tsubaki Copter in Central Fiction.
You should be able to.
Since the whole you can loop special moves again. And then there's Tekken 7. Tekken 7 was fun. Tekken 7's not as good as it should be.
Tekken 7 needs more customization right now.
Yeah, you fucking took the stupid poll, right? About what, like, the survey.
My favorite thing about Tekken 7, customization. Your least favorite thing, customization.
The customization in Tekken 7 is incredibly fucking lacking. There isn't enough.
They
depth
went
to
backwards
it.
from 6. You could make Cloud in 6.
You
Oh
can't
my
like
God.
mess with all the characters on the character at all. I mean, all the colors on the character. Fuck.
What's with the color options going on in this one?
I don't know.
You can't make a full-on black for characters' hair. You can't. You can struggle to make brown.
So bad. Other than that, gameplay is still fine.
It's
Despite the
fine.
fact that this is one of the most unbalanced fighting games I've ever played in my life. Hey kids, you want to be good at Tekken? It's not actually playing the fucking video game? Dude, just pick Eddie Gordo or Steve Fox.
Hey Nate, you want to learn how to play Tekken?
No. No, because Gigas isn't good. Gigas isn't good, and that takes time to learn how to play a fighting game. But
Hey,
Tekken
let's
7
be
is easy.
like, let's be like Nate and talk about how great and balanced and well played Under Night and Birth is.
Sure,
Carmine.
okay, yeah, alright. Carmine.
Fucking
Fucking
Carmine.
Nate over here is like, you want to use a broken ass character? Use Byakuya. I'm saying, like, Byakuya is nowhere near as broken as Carmine. Byakuya and fucking Carmine are both, like, mine characters that can, like, lay traps for you to fall into. See, if you hit Byakuya's traps, they go away. If Carmine uses his trap, it falls back to the ground to be used again.
But
He's
he,
like unlimited
he
reach.
loses health if he uses his trap.
Not a lot.
Not enough.
It's very minuscule. And my boy Hyde over here, my main, has no options on fucking block whatsoever. You
Try to jump, I dare you.
can't jump on block string, even though you have a fucking mechanic that's meant for overheads that's hopping on your opponent. Persona 4 Arena got this right. Persona 4 Arena lets you fucking hop on block string, but it doesn't overhead unless you do a special move. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, you couldn't like jump and block in Under Night and Birth. Fucking Christ.
I just want block strings, I can jump on block. Oh hey look, Blaze was a good game. So is fucking Persona 4 Arena. Well, at least better than that.
Ultimax, or because the first one was terrible. The first
Ultimax
Persona 4.
and Arena are just about the same. There's not much difference other than you can actually fucking combo at Ultimax without having to struggle super hard with the Guilty Gear cross BlazBlue combat. Speaking of fucking Guilty Gear, Guilty Gear is a fucking train wreck.
Oh
BlazBlue
god,
cross.
Guilty Gear. Oh god, Guilty Gear. Like, can we talk about like the initial quote-unquote comeback of Guilty Gear? And my transition to Guilty Gear kind of began with a PSP, a very flimsy, battery falling out ass PSP. I decided to get, well, I have the PS2 version, but I got Guilty Gear XX Accent Core years ago. And comparing it to the previous iteration of Guilty Gear, I don't know if this second Revelation or whatever it's called, Revelator, is any
Revelator.
better. Is any
Revelator
better than
2.
XR'd. How the fuck does
Well, it doesn't have a
XR
dub, so that already tells you what it's about.
They spent the money on a dub for the fucking rebirth of their series. Second game comes out. Yeah, that's too much money.
How does XR go about downgrading itself in terms of speed and combo potential from a PS2 game, no less? From fucking XX Accent Core.
Because it doesn't try to make any new changes.
Not to
It
mention
really
that
doesn't.
you like chopped the previous roster in half. I mean, I get it story-wise speaking, some of these characters shouldn't be alive, but it doesn't stop them from, implementing in the game still. I mean, heck, Azrael made it back.
Disney fucking Dizzy. Everybody wanted Order Soul back, but apparently more people wanted Dizzy back more.
Oh, you mean Kai's wife?
And then people still fucking cry, "Oh no, Guilty Gear is not a waifu game like fucking Blaze Blue."
Nearly every new character. Wait, no. Pretty much every new character, other than like, what was it? Not Testament, Raven.
Answer and Raven,
and Leo. Those were the only male guys.
Every other character's been a returning girl or a new girl. The new girls usually being sisters because they're Valentines.
Yeah.
I'd honestly play Exard if Order Soul was back in the game because Order Soul was cool. But this fucking roster got chopped more than in half when the Exard came out.
The roster got chopped and the combo potential's there. It feels stiff when you play it, and most characters play similarly rather than have their own unique playing styles or gimmicks.
There is
Like
a
Blaze.
constant problem with Guilty Gear, and that's a range-based attack. Where if you're close to someone and hit like circle, you'll do one move, but if you like backstep away and hit circle again, it'll be a different move, and that fucks up all your combos.
So like, it's still I've said this before, but Guilty Gear's fucking stuck in the 90s. There's way too many
Really?
90s mechanics that need to be taken out.
I hate to say it, but I like to think that, a lot of people really are blinded by nostalgia when it comes to Guilty Gear, because, a lot of them really can't accept the fact that Blaze Blue, it was meant to be a spiritual successor, but not only was it a spiritual successor, it succeeded in so many areas where Guilty Gear failed, in that Guilty Gear doesn't really have much of a story to go on, only
What are
recently
you
does it
talking
have
about? It's 15 years in the making.
15 years in making. It took them until Exard came out to finally get it back on track.
Educate us if we're wrong, but Guilty Gear all the way up until XR has been nothing but storyboard and very, very thinly strewn together visual novel material.
You remember that time Soul killed himself in the past and nothing happened?
We don't know. I didn't know about that.
Another problem with Under Night has that it didn't have a fucking story mode, and I was really wanted to be invested in this fucking story, but now latest is getting the story mode. Which
I'm fine
took
if a
fucking long
game doesn't have a story mode, because Soul Calibur for years did fine with just an arcade mode. It's just that when they put a story mode in it, half of the crew writing left. Okay, guys, we finished the fighting mechanics. You want to write the story? Guys?
Guys, where'd you go? Hello? Oh, well, I guess I gotta do this myself.
It's terrible.
We need a Fate fighting game.
We had that.
did have one on the PSP, and
We need another
PS2,
Fate
it
fighting.
was really good. Fate Unlimited combos. I mean, codes.
We need another Fate fighting game.
Dude,
Not
what
made by
was it?
Team Red, please, because Dragon Ball FighterZ is probably gonna suck, and so is fucking Blaze Blue Cross Tag.
I'm infuriated that I'll
yeah.
probably buy and enjoy Dragon Ball Fighters.
My name is Gohan. I only know one input.
Holy shit.
All of Gohan's inputs in Dragon Ball FighterZ are just quarter circle forward and quarter circle backward.
You know what? That is another thing, and I'm pretty sure Spirits can agree with me on that. And I think you can definitely agree with me on that. And how it seems to be nowadays, the current trend of fighting games is trying to make the inputs as simplistic as possible.
Oh
in
my
that
god. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite
Dragon
is a
Punch.
travesty.
It's too hard. We have to use down motion now.
Dante is no longer as in-depth as a character. Dante was probably the most complex character to play in Marvel history, and now he's gimped.
Well, in vanilla Marvel, he was one of the most complicated
I want you to
characters.
look down at your keyboard right now.
Yeah.
At the numbers, the number pad.
Yeah.
6323. That is too hard.
That is too hard.
That's the Shoryuken motion, and apparently that's too hard for the
That's
guys
too
who
hard.
created the
Guys,
Shoryuken.
2-2, down.
No,
mean
it's
to
too
tell me,
hard
like,
for the people who created the motion.
You mean to tell me that a game like fucking Smash Brothers can implement the dragon input motion and fucking these AAA fighting games can't? That's a sign of the times, if anything.
Hey, at least Tekken still fucking destroys your hands.
Good,
Yeah.
but here's the problem I'm having. I don't think it's so much that we're leading towards. I don't want to say we are heading towards a mass casualization, but I can't help but feel that the casual seems to be the way to go to save on budget, time, and effort, or creating a various moveset. I think my biggest problem with it is like, hopefully with this, like, I wouldn't, is it homogenized or this mass influx of these
Homogenized.
homoed milk. This mass influx of like these very, very little skill required fighting games that something like Tekken will like eke through the cracks, and we'll see what it takes to make a really good fighting game. And more, in considering the success of Tekken 7, I'm pretty sure that more businesses and companies should try to implement that kind of business model when it comes to game design. And I'm all fine with that, because the problem is, a game should cater to its audience in some fashion, but it shouldn't hold your hand half the time. I think that was the biggest problem with it, is the fact that everyone's like saying like, oh, some of these inputs are too hard, and then you got games like Blaze Blue, one of the most amazing fighting games, one of the most versatile, most different, varied roster, everything. And while some characters are in fact complicated, you have the option to go into the game, go to your training mode, and then, or challenge mode, and you go to these challenge modes, and it tells you how to put the input in, and even gives you a tutorial video on the timing and what needs to be done. More games should try to implement that challenge mode. That would, if anything, help people get better at fighting games. That would, make the fighting game community more inviting, because we all know the fighting game community is about as inviting as a goddamn hornet's nest.
I don't know. I think the fighting game community is fine. Just certain low tier guys a little.
Get that ass bad. A certain get that ass bad.
Low tier GERD.
Low trash. Garbage.
Dear God, is so trash.
Oh my god. Oh fuck. Shit, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, I was talking about, I think the casualization of fighting games kind of started with Persona 4 Arena and the implementation
With the
of 5A combos.
One button.
the
flashing
5A
one button.
combos.
Because, I mean, I get it for Persona 4 Arena because, the Persona 4 fanbase probably doesn't play fighting games. They play JRPGs most of the time.
And that makes sense.
Let them learn.
But you should pull, like, since this is ArcSys, you should have the option to turn it off.
Yeah,
like how
like,
Blaze Blue has a
beginner
5A
mode.
combo system.
Yeah, with the beginner mode. It's a mode you can select.
No,
Just
no,
implement into
you
the
have to.
fucking
You
game.
start out beginner mode, but no, that hurt too many people's feelings. Stylish mode.
So like if you some guard pressure in BlazBlue like requires you to sometimes just tap 5A or 2A on somebody's shield to like kind of trick them into pressing a button and punishing them. Persona 4 Arena doesn't really let you do that, since if you press 5A a few times, it's just gonna go straight into the combo string.
Jesus Christ.
Oh god.
Do you
I
have
hope-
any
I-
inputs on fighting game spirits?
Don't take away my inputs. That's all really. Don't take away my inputs and replace it with fucking 5A.
Although that
You want
does
to use
remind
5A?
me-
Just press square. You're good.
That does remind me about the whole Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite quote-unquote debacle, in that I'm still flabbergasted as to how half-assed this is, and the fact that not only is it half-assed, the models...
move while charging.
Dante's blonde and his pants are red.
His pants were, like, very dark black, brown,
X
even.
cannot move while charging his buster.
Yeah, that was...
Zero no longer has his level 3 buster, but still has it in some of his moveset.
No. Zero loses his buster entirely, except because they couldn't think of anything. They gave him his special, his meter special, where he puts his buster to the ground.
The Rikoha, yeah.
They keep that in, but took out every other buster thing he can do. And X has to stand still using a charge shot.
Say what you want about Marvel vs. Capcom 3 being an unbalanced piece of shit.
It's an unbalanced
still
piece of
is.
shit.
Exactly.
It's still
But
better, and
it's
the
still
thing is,
better
you
than
don't-
Infinite.
And
It's-
the thing
and
is,
not-
you don't
and
want
not- go
you
ahead.
don't want Marvel vs. Capcom 3 to be better than your fighting game. That's not a standard you want to be at. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is a terrible fighting game. It's fun, but it sucks. It really sucks, and you don't want your fighting game to be worse than it ever.
Virtual level 3 X Factor in the background.
Oh my god.
What are you talking about? Just go to Phoenix.
Please.
Another thing
I
that irks me about fighting games is loosen up your fucking inputs a bit. Like, BlazBlue got this right. It's not too strict with the commands. If you do something
it's
really close to
forgiving
it,
with its inputs.
it will give you the command because you put it in. It registers it properly.
Oh no.
Other Knight's kind of strict. Tekken 7's super strict with its inputs.
I like
Okay.
that my the creases in my fingers are now calluses.
Oh my god.
I feel like I
Fucking-
could stop a knife.
What,
So I
you're
feel
gonna
like
be
they
like
hide a knife in there.
you're gonna be like the fucking dude from Superfly who has to stand Superfly.
Yes. Except it's in the creases of my fingers.
Like, how are you hiding a knife in your fucking blisters? What the fuck? That doesn't look healthy.
It probably isn't, dude. He fertilizes his food by shitting on it.
Ew.
Yeah.
I
But
really
yeah,
hope...
in terms of moral,
You go, Joey.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I had a hope for it. Like, here's the thing, we all initially had hope for it when X showed up. That was it. And the more they showed, the bigger this train wreck got, to the point where, okay, let the demo show its cutscenes, and then you show the cutscenes, and Matt and Pat and Wooly were on the money. It's mostly, like, 80% of the dialogue is proper pronouns of just saying, "Thanks, Captain America from Marvel Comics, for helping me."
It's good to see you, Mr. God 4.
For you, Rocket, anything. Ivory shall we
Did
dance?
you see that reveal for Tony's face?
Tony?
Iron Man
Oh, no.
fucking flies in, opens up his face. It's like, no, put it back close the helmet.
He's got, like, fat lips and chubby cheeks.
Considering the trend Marvel's comics is going right now, I wouldn't doubt it. That's a talk for another time.
Oh my god.
But no, even
Okay,
that, like, what
it's-
made me... No, like, I'm just, let me continue this. The problem with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is you're putting a story mode in it. That had potential. That has potential. It's like, you can do so much. Except with Spencer, you know, take that piece of shit out.
You can
Like,
do
for,
so much with
for
Sigma
1 minute.
and Ultron working together.
But for 1 minute, give me a moment to go talk about how this motherfucker Spencer, this Mr. Jones singing Counting Crows dreadlock white
Vienna
motherfucker
sausage
right
arm.
here. White son of a bitch right here, looking like he sings with the Counting Crows ass. How is this dude iconic? Firebrand is more iconic for Capcom than fucking Spencer. Yeah, I get it. You want to hammer home in some new IPs that never really fucking stuck. Well, sad to say, you know, the fucking remake of Bionic Commando was not all that great. And it doesn't help that Bionic Commando itself was never all that great. But Jesus Christ almighty, also Virgil's not in the game either, so I don't get to laugh at how bad they do their rendition of that faggot either, so my rant my
DLC.
rant is over. Please, my
Oh,
rant is over on that. Just continue on, Tuck. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a standard of don't go from a B- to a D.
Okay. So, I'm fairly certain me, Spirits, and a lot of other people had the same exact reaction to fucking BlazBlue Cross Tags trailer. Where we're thinking,
Or
yeah,
this is gonna be
fucking
10 out of 10. She talked.
Ruby shows up. Ruby shows up. Oh.
She didn't even talk. The moment like she started talking. Mm.
No, the moment I saw her, I was like,
Right?
oh. No.
My problem with the voice actress for Ruby is while Ambassador
So
throwing an
BlazBlue
olive
did it
branch.
better, but then BlazBlue said no.
Hold up, Ambassador extending an olive branch out there. Don't shoot me just yet. My biggest problem with Ruby is, while I like the show because, you know, I trust the people at Rooster Teeth with decent half writing, my problem with Ruby is they never really improved her voice. She sounds like she's slurring half of her lines, and that was unfortunately a staple of her character. But yeah, continue onward.
Oh, fuck. Fuck, where do I fucking continue from? Oh.
Yep, there it is.
Fucking
Oh.
come on.
we could have had literally anything else. Arc
You could have put Soul.
You could have put.
Arc
No,
Sys-
you could have put.
no, because fucking Daisuke was like, no, you can't do that because we have to make new sprites because you don't have the fucking X and core sprites anymore. Because you're fucking lazy.
Then you're boring. Then let's see. Who else could they
no,
put?
hold on. No, they just reached out to Namco Bandai with fucking Dragon Ball. We could have had Tails characters in this game.
Yeah, they could have.
Oh shit!
We
Crush
could
would have
have
been
had
really
Tails
good.
characters.
We could have
We
had
could've
Jude combos.
Oh my god, we could have had Tails of characters. We could have had Luke and fucking Jin on the same team.
Oh, cool.
I want a full team of Johnny Young Bosches, but that's not going to happen. that dream was shot down the moment Radiant Mythology 2 didn't come out.
It's me, Johnny Young Penguin.
If there was going to be a fucking dub in this game, we could have had Yosuke and Amane on the same team because they're both voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah, they could have.
Oh my
But
god.
I do hope this game's going to be good, but it's probably not going to be because team-based fighters are usually unbalanced pieces of shit anyway. Also,
Except
get ready for the
Marvel
most
versus-
ignorant ass assist in the history of fighting games.
Except for Marvel vs.
Grim
Capcom.
Reaper.
Except for Marvel vs. Capcom 1. Marvel vs. Capcom 1, like, before it got, like, sent into, like, the newer gem days, so I'm talking, like, back on the fucking arcade game where you could only pick 2 people and no assist. Yeah, that was actually pretty balanced all that well, because, you know, your assist could get knocked out of his animation like it could in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so there you go.
Okay, for Blaze Blue cross tag, for just Blaze Blue, it shows Ragna and Jin. Does that mean the other games are going to have the main character and they're not rival?
Probably, I think that's going to be the gimmick. But
Because
I hope Sho's in this game.
Persona's one, the not rival. Adachi didn't show up until like the second game.
And Sho also didn't show up until the second game.
Are they going to fight Teddy? Evil
It
Teddy?
could be It could be Labrys. But like, who gives a shit about Labrys? Labrys isn't really a good character. Well, not in the
wanna know
writing
is
sense.
what-
She's a good character in writing, but.
But
eh.
no, yeah. Point taken. Although it would have been nice to see in a. Nah, that still falls in the Persona technical universe. The whole fucking.
I hope Marie's not in the game. Marie's a terrible character.
Put multi-blood characters.
No, fuck off!
How to be a horrible person. Pick Roa.
Oh my god. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I think we talked out as much as we can about fighting games. What was the next fucking topic?
Wait, hold up. Soul Calibur
Sequels and
6.
prequels.
Wait, what
Soul
game?
Calibur 6. Wait.
Make Soul Calibur 6, do it.
What's Soul Calibur 6? Because Soul Calibur 5... Well, okay, and I'm not huge on Soul Calibur 5. It's still a fun game. Its customization is so much better than 7's.
I'm guessing your biggest gripe with Soul Calibur 5. I want to say I'm going to take a guess.
Is that
and
it's
a shot
3D?
in the dark. No, I'm going to take a shot in the dark for Tux's complaint of Soul Calibur 5. The Mitsurugi style.
Mitsurugi's so fucking beginner friendly. It's easy to win any match with him.
And he never used to be like that.
Yeah. Fucking, I stopped playing Zwei because I like Zwei, but Mitsurugi's so fucking easy. Spirits played Soul Calibur 5 like a solid 2 or 3 years before I started playing it, and I just found it easy to beat him with
Mitsurugi, there you go.
Yeah, Mitsurugi. All it takes. Which is
You
my
got a
main
problem?
complaint with
That I
3D fighting games.
fucking Siegfried.
Which is
You
my
got a
main
problem?
complaint with 3D fighting in general. They're way too easy.
You got a problem with ring outs? Mitsurugi. You got a problem with blocking? Mitsurugi.
They're so 3D fighters are so easy to me. I don't really see a lot of challenge from playing them if I could just easily beat somebody who has a shit ton more experience than I do. With 2D fighters, I don't beat people with a lot more experience than me easily.
You know, unless they pick Tager.
Yeah, unless they pick fucking Tager. Fuck you, Nate.
Grapplers.
Fuck it. Grappler characters. Grappler characters are the worst things about fighting games, seriously.
Okay.
Oh, you do one grab motion, get like fucking half health done to your enemy.
Okay. Alright, we're done here.
Yeah, we're
All
done.
right,
Okay.
next talking point. We're just gonna do this with a ding. Sequels and prequels.
What's the third... What do you call a third thing in the series?
A treacle.
Interquels?
A treacle.
Treacle. God Eater 3. It's happening.
God Eater 3 is gonna
God
be
Eater 3 's
fucking
out.
amazing.
Oh, that's good news at least.
But how the fuck are you gonna talk God Eater 2? Jesus Christ! God Eater 2 is so good.
But on the meanwhile, I'm hoping Code Vein turns out to be better than the very
The gameplay they
hopes I have
showed
for
so
it.
far is a little.
Exactly. That's how I feel about it. I feel like maybe it will pick up. Maybe this is just early stuff. But no, and talking about sequels, I think one of our bigger talking points for sequels will be. I'll let you guys. You know what? Talking on that, we're going to come back to you on that, Tuck, in terms of prequels and sequels between Berseria and
I was
Zestiria.
just about to bring that up.
We'll let you two bring that up. But in talks.
No,
of
I'll also be
sequels-
talking about Persona 5 in that aspect as well.
Oh yeah, we should. Let me get this out the way since we're gonna get some. I want to get some good points on like how to do a sequel properly. In the past year, recently, Dark Souls 3. Want to know? Explaining how a sequel works. Well, Dark Souls 3 does for what Dark Souls 2 really should have done to 1, in the sense that Dark Souls 2, I get what they were going for, but H-Bomber guy has his head shoved so far up his own fucking pretentious ass, he doesn't know half the shit he's explaining. Dark Souls 2 was a travesty of a sequel. It was...
Honestly, Dark Souls 2 felt like a different series altogether.
Yeah,
That was
it was really connected to anything in the entire timeline. And the only way to get it to connect it to anything was when Dark Souls 3 came out.
And then some dipshits will argue, well, that was maybe the point. How else can you immerse a player in a new world in showing that, oh, by the way,
I get
your
it.
previous
It's
world,
been
it meant
forever.
so
This world, kingdoms fell and came. I get that, but there's like no connection at all.
little. Meanwhile, Dark Souls 3 does it right, in the sense that it keeps its previous lore, but it shows that not only has time has passed, it's shown that we have, in fact, repeated cycles in that, in this universe, Gwendolyn's long dead, but he kept his sister alive. Guinevere done ran off. Smo and Ornstein are no longer at their post. Artorias was not only a legend in Dark Souls 1, a legend who admittedly had one of the greatest stories about him, because I'll be honest, the deal with Artorias was... Yeah,
He was a fake legend.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
He wasn't even
Like-
a giant, Dad.
The game built you up to this idea. It's like, who is Artorias? Who's Artorias? Because it keeps on saying, like, oh yeah, if you're looking to get to the Abyss, that boy Artorias can tell you. Well, who's that boy? Well, I'll tell you about that boy. And then he's like, well,
Autistic
first,
screeching.
First
What?
kill his dog.
Artorias comes down, autistic screeching.
First, you gotta kill that boy's dog, and then when you kill that boy's dog, you don't really feel all that bad about it. It's like, well, here's the ring I need to get to the Abyss. I wonder why he was called the Abyss Walker. And then the DLC came out where, one of the best Dark Souls DLC, no less, and then you go back in time to where Ulasil got hit with all this dankness, and Artorias Scrum comes in, starts screeching you at autistically, yelling, I'm not right-handed, as he swings his left arm about all floppy like Gohan. And that was one of the bigger build-ups in my idea to, like, how you do an homage to a character. It's like, okay, how can you follow up Artorias? The Abyss Watchers is an amazing way to follow up something like Artorias, and the fact
Yeah, they're
that...
following a fake legend. They're essentially your fan club, but they don't know that.
Well, yeah, because again, Elizabeth the Mushroom did tell you that, I will try to keep Artorias' honor about him. And honestly, I do love the fact that Artorias was, like, in terms, if you go look up, you can go look up his cut dialogue, and one of Artorias' cut dialogue was showing that, I guess humans really aren't as, filled with dark as they were. It's like, I did like that idea that, yeah, maybe he wasn't as arrogant as the other lords, or arrogant as the other lords like Gwyn and all that, and they show that, okay, yeah, he understands that light and darkness is needed. And that's why you got the Abyss Watchers. The Abyss Watchers had this amazing lore about them that's like, okay, let's copy that boy, except we're going to call themselves We Them Boys.
If
And
I
they were them
smell any bit of darkness coming from your room, I am burning it.
So the group known as We Them Boys went around honoring Artorias and proceeded to topple kingdoms if they had even an inkling of darkness strewn about them, which in itself is an amazing story. It's like, you mean to tell me that this gangly group of undead, just these undead guys who have like this big ass sword and a dagger, that's all they travel with, the moment you see them heading towards your kingdom, it's already too late. It's gone. And the fact that, yeah, that's what Dark Souls 3 does. It manages to follow up all these amazing legends, like all these other characters, and show that there was more that you really could, in fact, expand on without it feeling recycled. Like, a better example is when you go to the Ring City DLC, not only do you find that Gwyn was such a fucking Zeus in the first place, Gwyn was the most bigoted racist to exist in all of Anor Londo, and the fact that Dark Souls 1 established this lore that the moment Seath snitched like a bitch about the lightning weakness, you're thinking, okay, so Gwyn took all of his Silver Knights, and Nito took all of his bones, and the witches decided to, rabble up their fire, and they would, go about and kill all the dragons. No, that wasn't satisfactory enough. Gwyn said, hey, look at all these freaky little pygmies right here. You're gonna be a slave knight, and you're gonna be abyss knights. We're gonna load you up with a shit ton of fire weapons, and put you out on the front line so you can do your duty. And then, yeah, Dark Souls 3, proving that Gwyn was not only the biggest bigot, he was the biggest liar and a fucking coward in the area, and so... Dark Souls 3, great sequel. Honestly, it is a great sequel. Its overly cynical attitude, with a few slight hopeful undertones, is what is needed for a series like that. Because that's
what do you mean hopeful undertones? Did you not see the Ring City?
Hopeful undertone, very slight. The painting. It's mostly the painting, the very slight one. Like I said,
painting that leads to Bloodborne's oral.
Well, here's the thing. It hits you like the thing.
Bloodborne is just the entirety of Bloodborne's areas is just a single tombstone.
Yes. Yeah, about that. There's tombstones everywhere. But
Bloodborne is a tombstone.
But no, not even that. It's the fact that because I want to say Dark Souls 3 does take the Legacy of Kain route, in that as the story goes along, shit only gets worse and worse, and you realize you're doomed to repeat this unfortunate fate cycle. But when you actually do break away from the cycle, you questionably make things absolutely awful. But there is a slight chance that this awfulness will help start a new reset for a better universe. So, take what you want from Dark Souls 3. I do love the overly cynical tone, because that's how you should treat a story like that, when it's like, about rebirth and rejuvenation, that there's still hope at the end. With Gale in the end of the world, no, this is what you get. This is what you idiots keep doing. So yeah, no more repetition, no more scrubbing the floor. And
everything go back to grey now.
Everything should go back to grey, and that was the biggest sin of Dark Souls 1, how they kept ignoring Velka, and they were saying, like, light is fleeting, and the fact that the curse was never really a curse. The curse was just a symptom of things returning to how they should be. And, well, now you know what happened with that. But, yeah, and speaking of that, how a good sequel's done, let's talk how a bad sequel and or prequel is done. With, Berseria.
Not even Berseria. Fucking Symphonia.
Symphonia is a prequel to Fantasia, and Fantasia is a good game that I will probably never play because it hasn't been remade yet.
Wait, isn't Fantasia on PS1?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has a fucking Game Boy Advance remake, but I'm not playing that old-ass style side-scroller fucking bullshit. I'm waiting for a Fantasia remake with fucking Zillia's combat. That'll never happen. But Symphonia is the most overrated piece of shit I've probably ever played in my entire life. Like, ever. Next to, like, what else? What other overrated piece of shits have I played that I usually complain about?
Persona 4?
Hit me.
Persona 5?
No! Persona 5.
5.
Persona 5, yeah. Persona 5 is not good, and I'm probably... I can hear the torches outside the window right now. Persona 5 is not a good game. Like, at all. I mean,
you want to break it down to its bare bones, yeah, you can explain to them how it doesn't do anything new.
But I waited forever for this game.
Okay, Wrath, whatever, but... like, the gameplay is fine. It's a Shin Megami Tensei game, but it really doesn't do much new, really. I mean, sure, it adds in, like, a tag-in where you can switch characters, and like, a sneaking mechanic that really isn't new, since you kind of snuck up to hit enemies in the older games anyway.
Multiple turn-based RPGs are passing it up. Pokemon is advancing.
Pokemon's
Pokemon
advancing
has
faster than this
advanced.
game is. Even though I fucking do not care for Pokemon as much as I used to anymore, and I still haven't
really
gotten Sun and
should.
Moon.
You really should. You should get Ultra Sun and Moon because that Scyther is waiting for you.
Cypher's waiting in a box that says wasted.
I'll get Ultra Sun. Give me a few months, alright? Damn. Oh shit. And fucking the plot in at first the plot and the characters seem original, and then I just fucking start putting pieces together. I'm like, this is just every Persona game before it mashed together in an unoriginal fucking pile of feces. Cause fucking okay, no, you wanna know how fucking unoriginal this game is? There are 3 social links in this game that are exactly the fucking same character arc. It's for Tei Takemi, Goth Nurse, Kawakami, the fucking teacher, and
Hot for teacher.
and fucking Ichika Oya, the fucking reporter. They all have exactly the same fucking social link of they're trying to do something for somebody that is either dead, missing, or is on the verge of death, and they feel like it's their fault.
Tei Takemi
No,
was
hold on, nigga. Hold on, my turn to talk, nigga.
It's my city.
No, my city again. It's like these characters are either dead, dying, or missing, and they all feel like it's their fault that they're in this situation, and they're trying to remedy it. But some asshole that they used to work with or work with is impeding them, and is probably going to ruin their lives if you, the protagonist, don't do something about it by going to the metaverse. The metaverse.
The Shadow Realm. The Omega Realm.
Could just call it the Shadow Realm. To go fucking change this nigga's heart. And, oh yeah, Persona 5 is about thieves, and there's really no thieving going on in this game.
I just
What are you
realized
talking
Persona
about?
5
It's about thieves and hiding your identity. Meanwhile, why don't people not know it's us?
By the way, no.
I want people to know that we're doing good by the world. Oh wait, we're getting too popular. This is probably a bad idea. Pick one, assholes.
No. What you said about changing people's hearts and shit, and doing it through thievery. This is Inception the anime.
Fucking. It's like that whole concept makes it worse because the characters don't grow themselves, and you already have an opinion of what the character's supposed to be like. They're gonna be a piece of shit, and there's nothing to change a piece of shit. And they're gonna be a good person now because you decided to change them into a good person. So it's like, what impact am I supposed to feel from this plot? And about the fucking characters being unoriginal, fucking Goro Akechi is my main problem with this game because
Goro Akechi would have been fine if he was in Persona 4.
If he was in Persona 4, he probably would have been a good character in Persona 4 because he would have been a better villain than Adachi. Because Adachi, while he is funny as shit,
I love Adachi,
he's a terrible villain, and I love Persona 4. Okay, that's in my top 5 favorite games. I love Persona 4, but my god, Adachi sucks.
You should see his Naoto folder.
Oh my god. The fucking Goro Akechi is literally just Adachi and Naoto and Shomanasuke rolled into one character. He's a kid that's a fucking private investigator, just like Naoto, and he's constantly fucking giving you hints and shit and acting all creepy like Adachi is throughout the entirety of the game.
Want to talk about murder?
It is.
Want to talk about murders, kids?
And his fucking character backstory is he has a piece of shit dad, and he has a piece of shit dad and no mom, and decided that he was treated shit his entire life growing up, and he wants to make the world suffer for it.
Maybe if he wasn't a disappointment to his father, you think that could have fixed some shit?
No, stop. Yeah, Virgil is such a fucking disappointment.
Yeah, you should. Hey. We'll go with.
I would have. At first, I was like, yeah, you know what? Goro was pretty cool. His sole purpose in life is to eat delicious pancakes. I like this guy.
If that was his character, yes.
My sole interest is deleting precious pancakes. eating delicious pancakes. But the problem is, Persona 4 Rita Ultimax was the game that came out before this, and they did this character arc for a show. This is the exact same character arc, and Show's probably one of the newest characters to come into the series.
Show is not in Persona 5, and that is a huge sin.
That is a huge thing. You just introduced this character, and he's nowhere to be found. If he's not Persona 5 Arena when it comes out, that's gonna be a even bigger thing. Because Show's a good character.
Elizabeth.
I want Blue Star Show.
Oh god. Like, you
Hey, you know
literally
who they
just
should
play
bring-
Zenoski, though.
Shut up.
And you know who you should bring back in Persona 5 Arena? If just so Arcsoft, Arxis or Arcsoft can keep just hammering it home, just Marie.
Oh, fuck off. Marie was the most pointless addition to Persona 4. Like, completely.
Inconsequential.
And the new canon ending for Persona 4 is locked behind her social link.
Oh, that's some horse shit.
Yeah, it is horseshit. And now, I have a fucking entire review ready for Berseria that I need Joey to fucking edit up. But I'll
Yeah,
just
I gotta
go
find
this
footage.
very small detail about Berseria. The Styria is a good game, okay? The Styria is not as bad as people think it is. It's a very average game. It's nowhere near as good as the 2 games before it. Nowhere near as good. But it has probably the best character interactions I've seen out of the entire
Oh
series.
my god.
The character interactions in Zestiria are fucking great.
Zesteria's cast may be the best one.
They don't have much character development going on, but holy shit are they fun to hang around with. Jesus Christ.
You like them. You want to hear more about them, basically.
Yeah, they're great. They're great people to hang around with. They're fucking cool as shit. Berseria's cast is probably the fucking worst of the entire series, which is just a complete 180 from the last
Berseria
game.
had the chance to make everyone love Aizen, to make Zestiria hit even harder. Ruined.
And they ruined it. We don't hear shit about how he really has dragon powers as a seraph. They never explained that. They at least covered about how he became a dragon, but it makes no fucking sense.
Because
He
okay,
absorbed.
he gets malevolence, right?
Yeah,
And then he gets purified of said malevolence.
but he still turns into a fucking dragon, and Zavid's like, "Oh, you're still gonna turn into a dragon by the malevolence, don't you?" Lava's just fucking purified him though.
How does that even work?
It's just,
Like, because isn't so? Yeah, malevolence is required to become a dragon.
Yes,
Yeah.
insane amounts.
insane amounts concentrated from all the human bullshit going on in the world.
And you mean to tell me that he gets purified of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Therefore, removing any semblance or any prerequisites he needs to turn to a dragon.
Yes,
And still shows up as a dragon.
Berseria is bad. Berseria is
He's not
really
a fucking
bad.
Manakete.
Zathid's the best character in Berseria, which is very telling since Zestiria is
My
is not-
Zestiria
is not-
character's the best.
My Zestiria character is the best. Oh my god. Velvet's probably the worst protagonist in the entire series too.
I gotta think about that.
Okay,
Because
she
as
It
looks.
definitely might be, I just gotta think about that.
Asbel's
Okay.
bad. Let's not split hairs here. Asbel's pretty fucking bad, and so is Lloyd. And so is Yuri, but Velvet's whole character revolves around being a dick to other to people that aren't the person she's supposed to be a dick to, and getting away with it.
But you don't get it, Tuck.
I'm
She
still
was
thinking, by
betrayed.
the way.
You don't get it, Tuck. She was betrayed.
Just because just because one person is a dick to you does not give you the free right to be a dick to everybody else.
If anything, I think it
Thanks, you.
suffers from the
Thanks,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Notch. Thanks, Notch. By the way.
I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 4 suffered from that same issue with like that fucking Raphael dude who worked under Dots, who had like the most flimsy excuse to believe that evil is everywhere.
Still thinking.
Yeah.
You still thinking about this?
Yes, I keep comparing
you-
her to more protagonists, and she keeps coming out on top as being terrible.
Yeah,
You're actually
she
like
is. I told you.
you're literally
I've
lining
played
her
it
up in her
all.
head like a slot machine.
Are you, okay, who are you landing with? Yuri, Asbel, and Lloyd? The
I'm
bad
going
ones?
through everyone.
You can't put Jude or Luger up there because
I'm putting them up there to remind myself how bad she is.
Jude's a good kid. I mean, you got to knock him around
Jude-
a bit at first, because I'll be perfectly
Jude,
honest,
Mila,
the Boy
and Luger are
Scout
all good
act got a
characters.
little annoying a bit. But
Luke started off as a fucking terrible protagonist, became one of the best ones later
yeah, he
on.
did. He's a spoiled rich brat. Oh man, I like that.
Holy shit.
It's like, wow, I want to kick this kid's teeth in.
Xerius was a fun time for the whole family. Joey doesn't understand that yet.
Okay,
I do.
so I just went over pretty much every protagonist, and yeah,
Yeah, Velvet's the fucking worst.
Velvet is the worst.
Velvet's the fucking worst. She wiped out an entire town.
This
For no
would be
reason.
the turning point in a character.
This would be, but it wasn't. She didn't get her actual character development until, like, you're 85% done with the game. It's already too late by that time. She's an irredeemable piece of shit.
So yeah, the turning point, I think there are some characters that did have a turning point very late game, like Jude, but even then, it's like
Jude
it's
wasn't
still
really late game.
Jude, it was progressing throughout the entirety of the game. Velvet wasn't progressing. It was all at once.
you're right, because the game kept doing this whole thing where
The moment the thing happened with Mila is when it went full in.
Yeah, like when it finally broke, the dam broke, because I do admit that, yeah, the game did this subtle thing of showing how Jude does, in fact, lean way too heavily on Mila.
Jude's a fucking follower. He's a beta. He's beta as shit.
His character development was not doing that.
His character development was stop being a beta and be an alpha, which he is. He's a super alpha now, by the way.
You've seen his haircut in Zilly 2.
He's super alpha now. And then there's Alvin, who's arguably the best character in the fucking game. Alvin's such a good character, holy shit.
Compare
and
Alvin to Zelos.
Zelos is such a fucking piece of shit in comparison to... Alvin is Zelos done right. Alvin is without a doubt Zelos done right. Zelos is just a fucking crybaby who has spent 20 years of his life complaining about how his mommy didn't hug him enough and just decided to be a piece of shit because of it.
Wow, that is faggotry. Holy shit.
He also wears pink.
Fuck Zelos. Fuck Zelos. Zelos is a bad character.
No, that reminds me. I was like, yeah, and that's a bad sign when you say Zelos is Alvin done right, because let's be perfectly honest, Alvin is one of the best written characters. But as many times as Alvin has stabbed the group in the back...
It gets consistently worse until it peaks.
And when it peaked...
And no, they never fully forgive him for that.
No, they didn't. And that's why I'm happy he never betrayed Luger whatsoever. Thank you, Alvin.
They fucking warned Luger.
Alvin has like a good legitimate reason for why he's such a piece of shit. He can't trust anybody, especially his own fucking family, because his own uncle killed his dad and fucking left him for dead with his mom, who was fucking
on basically a different planet.
Not only on a different planet, but she was like amnesia. She had like this terrible, like, it was super dementia. That's what she had. She had super dementia. Like, she just couldn't remember anything, and God, the stories he told her was just like, yeah, that's honestly, like, yeah, when you find out about Alvin's mom and the stories he's been telling her, and like how it all links up in your head, it's just like,
like, oh, Alvin's had a hard life.
And then Zillia 2 hits, it's like, hey, Alvin, you doing all right? Is that a ring?
Is that a ring I press his hand? Like, oh, that existed in the Prime Dimension, didn't it?
Ooh.
We were gonna marry her, and we fucking, that's... Oh god. Zillia and Zillia 2 are good games. Play the fucking video games.
Give me the pussy, mouse.
These are... Oh god. Alvin's whole backstory of Pressa is also really good.
It hurts.
It hurts a lot, too.
It hurts because I've been in that situation when Alvin's done.
You've been in that situation where you had to draw someone off a cliff?
No!
Oh my god, where have you... Who are you?
An enigma!
Oh my god.
But yeah, going back to Miss Velvet Crow and how Berseria is a prequel done horrifically wrong. Okay.
Okay, what the okay. Despite that little hiccup, because my fucking recorder decided to pause itself for some fucking reason.
Weird.
Velvet's fucking dumb. Velvet's a dumb She starts off fine. But, hey, there's a trend. There's a trend in every bad Tales protagonist, except for Lloyd. If there's a time skip in your story in Tales, it usually leads to a bad game. There's a time skip in Graces. There's a time skip in Graces.
Zillia and Zillia 2. Those are two separate games.
Those are two separate games.
You're talking about in the game itself, it's a time skip.
In the game itself, yeah. If there's a time skip, that it's usually the time skip is basically immediate where the game stops being good. Everything before the time skip is fine, and then the game starts shitting all over itself after the time skip. Graces started to suck after the time skip. Vesperia's fucking time skip between the first strike.
About Graces and the time skip. How early was that time skip?
That was like fucking the first. I don't know, man. It was from when they were kids to when he was like 20 years old.
Like in terms of gameplay, how early is it?
It was fucking like what, 2 hours into the game.
That doesn't give you enough time to establish any characters, especially in a Tales of game where you have a massive cast half the time. That's bad
And
writing.
fucking Alizabel's over here like, oh, I want to protect everybody, and constantly complains that he can't protect anyone, even when he fucking constantly protects the people he cares about.
But no, what about those innocent
I
bystanders?
don't know what they're trying. I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do with him. It's like he has survivor's guilt, but not good survivor's guilt.
The Shiro
his dad
Emiya
died.
Survivors Guild.
The whole reason he even came back to his hometown is because his dad died, and he wasn't there to protect him.
Daddy
It's not
wasn't
that.
there.
It's because he hated his dad, which is why he ran away from home. Because he fucking he let his brother be adopted by a noble family for the good of his
Adopt the
fucking
thought.
people. It's Asbel fucking ran off like a little bitch to go join the Knights at like the age of fucking 12, and then came back.
And they let him do this.
And they let him do this. They didn't fucking say anything. Just let him fucking run off. And then the time skip Berseria, it was the fucking Scarlet Knight bullshit and fucking Lapis getting super decimated for some reason. Why did they?
Censorship.
That doesn't make it any better. I don't know why you changed that scene. That made it worse, honestly. That made the scene a lot worse. Oh, well, he's not getting stabbed by an actual sword, and he's not being held up. Berseria is dumb. Okay, Berseria is a really, really dumb game. I don't think anybody should play it.
Plays Hysteria.
It plays Hysteria. Plays Zillia and Zillia 2.
Don't watch Zysteria's anime, though.
Zysteria's anime is fucking garbage. It ruins everything about this fucking series.
I remember that Twitter rant.
And 4chan, despite being a fucking complete battleground of retardation, was agreed that this anime is fucking garbage.
It's
The fact
it's
that you
the Rose and Alicia show.
It's the Rose Alicia show where the main character Saray barely does anything throughout the entirety of the fucking show, and then they ripped off fucking they ripped off Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me with this.
Okay, there's this thing called aromatization in Zestiria, where you fuse with a fucking seraph for like an elemental transformation. The reason why they never fucking fused all the seraphs on Saray's team together was to avoid being Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then the anime fucking did it anyway.
Fucking Fire Nation.
And they changed lore for no reason. Like fucking instead of just being able to purify malevolence from the fucking flames of Maltelis, now the shepherd must take malevolence into his body and purify it into what? Why are you changing things?
Wait, what?
Yeah, that makes no
Wait, hold up. Then he wouldn't be able to become a proper shepherd. He'd be corrupted by malevolence.
Yeah, it
Wait,
makes no sense.
Wait, the shepherds are here? Where's Kron?
Oh my god.
And then fucking dragons are talking. Dragons are talking in this show. Fucking Maltelis and Aizen are talking and they're fucking dragons. Dragons are mindless beasts that Seraphim turn into when they absorb way too much malevolence.
If the
shouldn't be
let me
talking
guess,
at
the
all.
game established this lore as mindless beasts.
Yes.
And
then
the anime
fucking show ruined
decides
it.
to throw the lore out the window.
Yeah, that's what they did with the majority of the show.
Jesus.
Rose's whole character development was like just like being sure of her own strength as a person, and in the fucking anime it's like
Got that revenge boner there, huh?
I need my revenge on the people who destroyed the Wind Riders, and Dezel's fucking character development no longer exists, and he dies for no reason.
What episode did he die?
Like the fucking second to last episode. And
That
Zavid
was
joined
like
the
the halfway point in the game.
Zavid joined the fucking party while Dezel was still alive.
What is happening?
This anime is so bad. And the Siegfried is no longer has limited ammo. It's fucking Zavid's just shooting all fucking willy nilly over here. It's just a wasted ammo. Like it just And it said, "Oh, the Siegfried's the only thing that can fucking kill dragons." Like that's not how that works.
It's not how it works at all.
Play the fucking video game. You're vulnerable. What the fuck happened to you?
Okay. Alright. About sequels and stuff. GT compared to Super.
Oh man, let's go in.
GT's garbage.
I am ready. I've got my create a character. Let's go.
Okay, so the biggest thing that a lot of people just don't seem to be just putting together is that GT doesn't really pay attention to any lore.
Less so than what Akira Toriyama spaces out on half the time.
they say like, oh, this is the best part of Z, and the worst part where Goku fights Frieza and Cell in Hell. This is where it also fell apart. No, it fell apart day one when they introduced Black Star Dragon Balls.
And the lore makes
The
no
idea
sense.
of evil Dragon Balls is fine, but the Black Star Dragon Balls were made by Kami when he was still fused with Piccolo before they even separated.
Yeah.
Meaning, they shouldn't even be here anymore, since one, they separated,
And Kami
two, they
is-
fused back, which got rid of the Dragon Balls again.
And Kami is no longer the god of, like, the world. Dende.
He's not a Guardian anymore. There should be nothing left from him.
Their influence is inert. The balls are, in fact, inert.
Dende's
They
the
don't
fucking
turn the
greatest.
stone and just go. They don't turn the stones and you forget they are gone. That's why they needed a new Guardian.
Dende, who created the new Dragon Balls.
Also, you get
Since
two wishes.
day one, GT has already shit the bed.
Yep, day one GT. No, and yeah.
What the fuck is going on with GT's shading, though? What the fuck is happening?
Oh, I don't fucking know, man.
GT's
That
shading
sounds-
is.
And his character design's even fucking worse somehow.
I think the bigger. Here's another one that Spirits expanded on. Dragon Ball Z established when Goku went Super Saiyan 3, the universe.
Yeah, see, in the show, when he went Super Saiyan 3, the transformation could be felt in Otherworld, and all around Earth, it was shaking the planet. In the movie, it was shaking the entire universe.
Well, the entire Otherworld universe, but even then, that's still
Yeah,
more
pretty
massive
much.
than the Living World universe.
And GT says this Super Saiyan 4 transformation, which is a terrible name for this,
Ugh.
is stronger than Super Saiyan 3 by far, like no comparison.
And yet it did, like...
But it has no effect on the terrain, has no effect on the universe, nothing.
and not even...
And doesn't even
The
like
way
act like
you
an
turn
actual
into a Super
transformation.
Saiyan 3 is a natural progression between the other forms.
and not
You know,
even...
you can skip Super Saiyan 2, it's still, because Super Saiyan 3 is still linked to it. But Super Saiyan 4, to reach that, you have to be a Super Saiyan who turns into a Great Ape and has control. And that somehow makes you stronger than a fucking universe reality shaker.
Not even that. Let's talk about like the loopholes and the mental gymnastics you had to pull off with that. The fact that you have to regain your semi-consciousness, or you have to regain your consciousness.
Saiyan basic training.
Saiyan basic training, and the fact that Goku couldn't control his because he was still a wee little kid. Secondly, if you watch the Bardock movie, and also I want everybody who is about to throw down on their keyboards right now, like, oh well, the father of Goku movie isn't canon. Eat a dick.
No, Father of Goku movie was canon.
No, it's canon. It make fucking
That's
sense.
really the only movie that is canon, honestly.
And it's like, oh yeah, the father of Goku movie. Saiyans had control of their Great Ape forms. Vegeta, when he first went Great Ape, he showed that he was conscious. He could.
He was talking in his fucking.
He could
ape form.
strategize.
He
could
was
form
as smart as he was when he was fighting normally.
He could strategize. He could form tactics. It's like, yeah. So you mean to tell me, just if Vegeta went Great Ape after achieving Super Saiyan, he could have hit
So you're
Super
telling me
Saiyan
that what if story in Budokai 1, where Vegeta went a little off, Yajirobe made fun of him killing Nappa and turned Super Saiyan. At that moment, if he went Great Ape 2, he'd be a Super Saiyan 4?
pretty
Should've
much,
been
and it's,
something- His form should have been called like Super Great Ape or something.
and it makes no sense. And the problem is, I think the bigger problem with GT is the fandom of GT relies way too heavy on power levels when they should have dropped that shit off years ago.
Look, power levels are a thing. We know this. We do. The entire point of not trusting power levels was that people can hide their levels. That's it.
Pretty much, people can hide their levels, and depending on how powerful you are, some shit won't work. Like the whole Destructo Disc didn't work on Cell because, man, that shit broke off on the back of his neck. But not even that. It's the fact that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is now getting outpaced by these literally who filler ass villains like General Dildo.
That's another thing. So in Dragon Ball Z, Frieza is the most feared tyrant in the universe.
Next to
He's the
Majin-
strongest thing known. No, Majin Buu at this point is a myth.
He's still a feared
And-
legend, though. The thing is, yeah, Frieza and Majin
But
Buu have
he's a myth.
reputations.
People don't treat him as ever being real.
Yeah.
Because he's sealed away right now. Frieza is the strongest thing here. Nothing in the universe matches Frieza. Goku transforms, there you go, he's now the strongest. The next thing that's stronger is Cell, who is homegrown on Earth in the span of a few years. That's fine. That didn't come out of nowhere. And when Cell reaches his perfect form, new Namek, way out into the boonies of the universe, feels that.
They're fucking
They feel that transformation.
closer to space Mexico than ever.
And you're telling me, in GT, people are standing up to Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and no one on Earth felt their power?
No one. Not even that. Here's and the problem with GT is also the shit they waste. The biggest wasted potential. Oob, this great kid that the end of Dragon Ball Z built up. It's like, hey, that's Kid Buu reincarnated. This kid's gonna be the shit if he has proper training. He gets proper training, and then he goes to fight fucking Baby. Fuck off with this character.
But before even that, Goku left his family again, alright? He spent years with them, alright? He left his family to train Oob. He's done with training. We don't see Oob until, like, the fucking baby thing.
Yeah, that's already two.
Think
that's
about
almost
how
two
different
arcs
GT
in.
would have been if Goten, Trunks, Pan, Goku, and Oob went on that journey.
Or Gohan.
It's so much waste. You could have had Goten there, but nope, don't want to do that.
I want to
Gonna have
girls.
Pan, who's now a butchered ass character. Holy shit!
Pan was so much better when she was 5.
Go away, Grandpa. I got angst issues.
What the fuck did they do to Pan?
Now,
It was the
when,
edgy
when it
thing.
comes to Super actually acknowledges things that happened in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Well, you complained about people being stronger in the Super Saiyan 3 and then not feeling it. Well, what about Super Saiyan Blue and Beerus? That's godly
God, that's
Ki.
God
They explain
power.
this. You cannot feel this unless you actually have that.
And even then, it's like they explain. Yeah, even though, yeah, I take that back. No, yeah, Majin Buu. In fact, yeah, you're right. Majin Buu was a myth. But yeah, there is a lore behind Beerus the Destructor, and the fact that powerful entities throughout the universe know who he is. It's just God for like King Vegeta. There you go. King Vegeta knew who Beerus was, and the fact that like the Saiyans, the most
And he fucking treated him better than the person who's enslaving his entire planet.
Jesus Christ. The main thing is that GT doesn't even acknowledge a lot of the things that happen in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, while Super actually respects it.
Admittedly, yeah, Super does suffer from a bit of flanderization of its characters at time, like Goku's stupidity, and
Yeah, that's a little out there.
and Chi-Chi's overbearingness as a mother.
This is true too.
But it still understands how to do a proper sequel, and I'm okay with that because, again, GT, like, here's my biggest problem with the wasted potential of Oob is like, okay, this kid finally shows up, ready to take on, Baby. Getting his shit kicked in, though, because Baby has Vegeta's power, and somehow Vegeta can match up to Super Saiyan Goku 3, despite what the end of the Buu fight did for him. So you mean to tell me that, okay, that he's getting jobbed on, but then Majin Buu decides to make a very, very heroic sacrifice in where GT could have gone a decent direction, in where
They have Oob stand an actual chance.
Oob becomes Majub. He gets fused with, the essence of Fat Buu. And that would have been the best passing the torch on to a new generation. This evil, we started off with this evil, angry little child who had nothing but destruction and candy on the mind. And then he becomes he can become a well-developed human character who can be the new protector of Earth. It's like, not only that, the Jin motive, has so much potential. Magi has so much potential for unique abilities and all that. And, you could have done it. You could have done something pretty amazing. And, well...
No, he's got a job to Super Buu. No, that's Super Buu. Super Baby.
Yeah, he
get
jumped.
turned to candy, and that's it.
Yeah. No, wait. He did his part when he was helping Goku fight Baby when he was inside Baby Monkey Vegeta's stomach.
Oh, fuck off.
Beyond stupid. And like that's just the Baby arc. You got other stuff like the fucking Super Android 17 issues where
How did you build another android in hell?
also that before we go further on that, that's a question I have to ask to Xenoverse as well. How did you build an android in hell, Toa? Okay, no answer on that.
She's got the demon realm going on there.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, just A, how did you build another android in hell? B, I get that.
Why is it another 17?
Where is my Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta?
See, if he did it before Blue, that'd be nice. But if he does it now, it's just kind of.
I would
Okay.
I would appreciate it if he did it as a last ditch effort. If Blue or fucking Saiyan God didn't work.
If he went Blue and went Super Saiyan Blue 3.
What the skipping levels again, aren't we, Vegeta?
Constant level skipping, man. It's just not my Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. I don't want to play Raging Blast with this.
Not even that.
You could always play. You could always go to Japan and play Heroes.
There was a fucking like European copy of Raging Blast at my local GameStop a few months ago. So like, how the fuck does this even get here? How do you even? Can you sell this here?
And let's talk about the final arc of GT, the Shadow Dragons. And we are going to skip over the first four, because the first four were the most blatant use of padding and bad comedy I've seen in a while. But, Ice and Nova Shenron, two characters.
Before that, the Dragon Ball's getting too much negative energy and Shadow Dragons showing up. This is beyond stupid because, well, again, the lore for Dragon Ball was that there used to be a single Dragon Ball that was separated into 7 because it kept getting stolen too much.
Yeah.
After he did this, Kami said, "Hey, this actually feels right," which goes back to fucking Kami before they split. Why did you make 7 Black Star Balls then?
Oh yeah, also the problem with the Black Star Balls. Oh, by the way, whatever planet you're... Oh yeah, Black Star Dragon Balls.
If you use the Black Star Balls, your planet will explode unless you bring them back and make another wish. So, how do you know this?
How do you know this?
Did
How
you
many
go on some
experiments
barren
did you-
planet and use it?
Oh, we know this because Piccolo wasted his life and we got rid of Piccolo for no reason. Remember that?
Piccolo wasn't in GT, was he?
He was in GT. It's just at the very last...
He was in GT, just barely, and he ends up dying on Earth for no reason. Then he sends himself to hell.
to help Goku go fight Super 17.
He banishes himself from heaven to go to hell, which is beyond stupid. They could have just sent him in.
Yeah, because, you know, that's not all that hard. And I think another problem would be, like, yeah, the whole Shadow Dragons... Ice and Nova Shenron could have been some decent characters, but, well, they just keep wasting their potential, and they also forget that
I don't give a shit about this color coding bullshit.
Not even that, they also, Goku forgot he could sense ki when, Ice Shenron blinded him.
Ice Shenron blinds Goku with Super Saiyan 4. Goku then physically runs around on the ground, dodging attacks that he cannot see coming, because he forgot he could sense energy.
Meanwhile, Dragon Ball Super over here, Gohan's been blinded. But I can sense ki by reflecting my own Super Saiyan aura off what's coming my way. What the fuck, GT?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh no, and then the final abomination of GT. Well, the final 2 abominations of GT.
Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr.?
Final 3 abominations of Dragon Ball GT. Omega Shenron, Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta, Deviant Art, OC, Donut Steel, and yeah, Goku.
Why is his hair red?
What part of the Super Saiyan 4 design makes any fucking sense on Vegeta and Goku?
And what part does it make their clothes magical? Why does Super Saiyan 4 make you grow older?
Why does Super Saiyan...
Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta... Okay, so Vegeta fights with fingerless gloves, and then he turns to Super Saiyan 4 and he's got full-fingered gloves now.
Yeah.
What part? Why is their head hair so black but their fur is red on their body? I don't. What?
And yeah, you said that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta actually makes more sense aesthetically wise.
Yeah, because his hair's red and his fur's red. That makes more sense.
His fur's a dark brown, but still you can say that's red.
Yeah. It honestly makes more sense aesthetically. Also, yeah, but yeah, why Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is the stupidest, most overpowered bullshit wish fulfillment thing. It's like, oh, well, you had Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. Yeah, but they had kind of a realistic time limit, and the villain had Super Saiyan Rose, and like...
In the manga, when he turned Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, he was about to use Final Kamehameha, and before he could even finish saying it, he unfused because he used too much power, charging it up.
Yeah, because, again, while the Potara was retconned...
That was a retcon.
It was a retcon.
Super retcon, holy
but
shit.
But it makes sense for mortals in the fact that, yeah, mortals have, certain aspects to them that don't really make them immortal. So I can understand how the Potara is a big detriment at times, and... Well, yeah, it would make sense why their hour would get cut short, because A, Super Saiyan Blue uses a shit ton of stamina, and you got 2 guys using it. Yeah, I can believe it. Here's the thing. Super Saiyan Super does do some things that are questionable, very questionable, but it's not that, but they consider it the realm of possibilities at which things can be accomplished, and I'm all for that. And honestly, that was a great idea, even though Goku Black ended on a literal Deus Ex Machina.
When you look at the time limit thing that they added for Potara, you think it's a little cop-out when you think about the original Dragon Ball Z.
But remember...
most of that time was on filler, and if you read the manga or just watch Kai, that fight against Super Buu was really fast.
Yeah, they just had him dicking around too long against Super Buu. But even then, it's like, if any, considering how long he was dicking on Super Buu, an hour could have believably passed.
Yeah, by the time he got absorbed, an hour pretty much passed.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it makes more sense than the whole magical bad air in...
Magical magical intestines.
Of a Buu. So...
How does a fucking gum monster have intestines? What the fuck?
And that talked.
I don't know,
sentient.
man. He's got like an entire universe in there.
No, even and then yeah, just Omega, and like I think the dumber part of Dragon Ball GT was this is a small gripe.
This is Sin Shinron. This is Omega Shinron. You can tell the difference because I have more balls on my chest.
And then Goku can't swallow balls.
Goku tried to swallow Dragon Ball.
And you want to talk about Super making Goku stupid? Let's talk about GT. But even then, it's I think the bigger aspect about it was this dumb cop-out, because the world had become so blatantly riddled with this evil aura because the Black Star Dragon Balls, not the Black Star, the regular Dragon Balls leaked out their negative energy, Omega Shenron decided to use his negative energy minus ball and throw it at him. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta proceeded to kick it, and in one of the most half-ass 13-year-old written explanation as to, like, put it this way, imagine 2 kids playing imagination. I'm going to throw my gigantic cannonball at you. Well, I have the invisibility shield of rejuvenation that makes that negative energy you threw at me turn to good energy, thus the planet was saved, even though we never really had too much of a hint the planet was all that much in distress, but yeah.
Other than the 5-year-old coloring the sky.
This is very elaborate for a fucking 5-year-old.
Shut up, 5-year-olds.
I'm going to use my negative energy bomb while I kicked it with my positive energy legs.
Pretty much.
And that's what happened.
And it all boiled down.
And it fixed everything wrong with the planet.
And it all boiled down to that simple thing that everybody did as kids, where it's like, oh, I shot you. No, I had my magic shield
rock,
on.
paper, scissors. See, my rock beats your scissors. Oh yeah? Well, my scissors is actually a fucking nuke.
Pretty much. Like, kids just making up rules as they went along. And GT made up so many rules. Oh, God. Also, Pan never going Super Saiyan. She had a moment where she could have easily...
Isn't that more on her blood?
She's got like...
Isn't that more on her genes?
She's got like a quarter.
Dilapidated.
The actual reason was because they couldn't think of a actual female Super Saiyan design, but then they went and said that she was, what was it, 1/10, not 10th, but 1/6 Saiyan or some shit?
1/6?
She couldn't turn Super Saiyan?
What the fuck? I thought she was a 4th. She should have been a quarter.
Yeah, that thing. She's 1/4 Saiyan, so she couldn't turn Super Saiyan. Yet, end of GT, Goku Jr. Vegeta Jr.
With a 16th! He has a 16th Saiyan. If you dilute the timeline, if you dilute that bloodline, he is only a 16th of a Saiyan.
And there's a thing for Dragon Ball Online that everyone at some point in the future is a little bit Saiyan. Well, how can they turn Super Saiyan then? They make a wish on the Dragon Balls to make them into a full-fledged Saiyan.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
That's what happens when you reach level 50 in that game.
Oh, even better. A better explanation, if anything. And then meanwhile, Super comes over here giving us some pretty decent female Super Saiyans. And Broly.
It's just fucking Broly.
That's just Broly with tits.
Hey,
No,
man,
he-
hey. Don't respect Kale. She's a very good hentai character.
Went from fucking flat A cup angst to fucking double
Fucking
D's.
Cauliflower using the buff Saiyan went from double A to triple E.
Dude, I like Kale in the sense that it's like, she is literally a hentai character. That's all she is. She's a fucking visual novel character. She's Shoujo Girl from Recreators. Except,
Shoujo Girl hasn't done anything yet. They're gonna do stuff.
they explained her powers.
I hope not the stuff I'm thinking about.
Okay, anyway, Tuck, as you know, the whole joke was, like, okay, she was like, like, who are you? Like, what are you from? It's like,
She's a hentai character.
It's like, yeah, she's a hentai character. She was
She is from a hentai game, and her superpower is seducing boys by showing her panties.
basically, yeah, anybody who she can show guys her panties and they'll fall in love with her.
Oh my god.
Recreators is great.
But yeah, in terms of sequels, GT is a very, very sequel. It's terribly written, and I want to say that as like, admittedly, I will admit that I was all aboard the GT hype train for a while when I was a stupid little 13-year-old, but I was a stupid little 13-year-old. So, yeah, everybody was on that hype train. It's like, oh yeah, Super Saiyan 4 is the greatest thing ever, and now it's like, Super Saiyan 4 makes no goddamn sense. At all. Oh, God. And speaking of prequels that do shit bad, aside from Berseria, as a fun little talk about this, Metal Gear Solid 3 is an amazing prequel in how to do a decent backstory on this notorious
You're pretty good.
villain throughout the Metal Gear series who everybody kept blowing up. It's like, oh, it's Big Boss, Big Boss, Big Boss, the biggest boss.
You beat Big Boss. That makes you biggest boss.
And then what does the game do?
What did
the game do? Metal Gear Solid 3. You get thrown into the shoes of a very young, green, out of his mother's womb symbolism soldier. And good God Almighty, it is one of the most emotional, crazy experiences for a Metal Gear game. I give Metal Gear Solid 3 shit in the fact that I hate Big Boss as a character, but in terms of the writing for Metal Gear Solid 3, it's perfectly fine. It's great. If anything, it's one of the best Metal Gear Solid games ever. I just don't like it considering that I know what Big Boss becomes, because I played Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. And Metal Gear 1, you come across Big Boss, it was like, Metal Gear 1 was like on the NES, if I remember. Yeah, and you come across Big Boss, and Big Boss has already devolved into this monstrous warmongering monster on Zanzibar Land.
We've talked about this.
Zanzibar Land happens.
No, that's
not real.
No, it is.
Zanzibar Land doesn't exist, and that isn't Big Boss.
No, it was Big Boss. On Zanzibar Land, that was Big Boss. No, wait. Metal Gear 2 was Big Boss. I take that back. But Metal Gear 2 and Metal Gear 1 established Big Boss as this warmongering monster who had lost all grip of the boss's ideals. And it makes sense, because his ideals were simply, war is a terrible thing, but did you know war makes plenty of orphans? And those orphans will make great soldiers to use in the next war. And you see how...
Hold up.
Yeah! He said, that's what we do. We create wars. We put out the flames. And then we can... whenever we, incorporate more of these children into our armory, we can make bigger fires to bring in more soldiers. Like, yeah, he had this fucked up mentality where it's like, I get it. Big Boss was betrayed by the United States. The boss was betrayed by the United States. Very few people will know the fact that the boss herself was a true hero, a true patriot to the end. And I can understand why Big Boss went down that twisted road. But normally I'd leave it at that. It's like, that makes Big Boss such a great character.
But that wasn't him, though. That was his replacement.
And that's what
Venom
makes...
Snake.
No. Venom Snake's replacement.
Shut up. But no, the point was, it's like, you could leave it at that, which the Metal Gear Solid series should have done, because at the end of Metal Gear Solid 3, it starts listing off events that start happening, like 1973, Les Fantas Terribles starts happening, they start cloning Big Boss, they secretly make Solidus, all that. It's like, they explain all the stuff that leads up to Metal Gear 1 and eventually Metal Gear Solid. And that, you could have left it at that. The problem with it is where Metal Gear Solid 5 comes in and just shits all over Big Boss's character, make him even more less likable, just terrible. Although I did like the fact that we got to have ourselves a creepy little young Psycho Mantis and a very shitbaggish Liquid Snake. Man, God, that
Who's going around killing these kids? Liquid, do you know?
Fuck you, Dad.
God, he wasn't even his dad. The biggest problem with Metal Gear Solid 5 was the fact that it's like, yeah, we have, we can further expand on the Big Boss's descent. I'm like, yes, let's do that. Let's show this man slowly going mad with power and his worldview getting shredded to bits. And the Metal Gear Solid 5. Oh, you were the medic who was caught in the blast, and Big Boss was a coward who ran away from the beginning of the page, who ran away from the progenitors of what would eventually be known as the Patriot AIs, and he spent the rest of his years running away.
Call me Ismail.
He spent the rest of his years running away like a frickin' coward, only to wind up in a coma for some explicit reason, and eventually get reawakened up after the Patriot AI system has been knocked off. So, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4, you can say what you want about it, but Metal Gear Solid 4 knows how to tie up a story and make sense. It's fine.
It also knows how to make popcorn.
Plenty of popcorn. Just shove it in every single pocket Snake has. And, yeah, that's what the problem with Metal Gear Solid 5 is. It's just this very lackluster experience that it built itself up to be this amazing revelation of the Big Boss's descent into true villainy, what made him that monster in Metal Gear 1. And it doesn't deliver. It doesn't deliver. It cut its content where Liquid steals Philanthropist and trashes it beyond all recognition, so they have to scrap what they can to make that very terrible Metal Gear they did in Metal Gear 1 and 2. And it could have tied things up. If anything, Metal Gear Solid 5 was a great potential to establish Big Boss as a villain already, and just have him go around recruiting, the new Foxhound units such as Sniper Wolf or Vulcan Raven or Decoy.
Sniper Wolf would be redundant.
No, it's Quiet died, I think. Yeah, Quiet died. She just went off and died. God, just
see ya.
Talk about loose ends for a character.
It was the parasite strain in her fucking lungs. She spoke English.
Also,
makes no sense because English is
I honestly don't understand that part.
English is a mismatch of every fucking language, which makes no fucking sense.
That's also a bad sign of Metal Gear. That was also another problem with Metal Gear Solid 5. The fact that when
she speaks Navajo, so therefore it shouldn't trip the fucking parasites. Are you certain there's no words in Navajo that sounds anything like English words? Because that should also trip the fucking bulk of parasites.
What if you say the word Navajo?
What if she said howly?
that has how in it. That's an English word.
But even that, it's no, it's not even that. It's the fact that another problem. The advanced technology in 1970 makes no sense considering the limited technology you were given in 1964.
Hey man, I'm fine with the technology part because no one remembers fucking Shackleton.
Yeah, because that was an undercover mission. It was scrapped completely.
That means no, the technology is possible.
I mean, no, I'm not saying
also,
that's the biggest
problem.
I'm saying that's the biggest problem. It's the fact that it's this. When Metal Gear Solid 5 has you doing something a Metal Gear Solid game should only do the first time, where it's okay, Metal Gear Solid 1. Okay, that's like a Metal Gear Solid Rex. this is Metal Gear Rex. This is like a walking tank. That seems believable. Metal Gear Solid 2. Okay, this seems a little bonkers. Everything, especially Fortune and how she actually could block bullets at the end of that. Wow, that's fucking weird.
Tell me I can dodge bullets.
I saw a vampire run up a wall. Yeah, when Metal Gear Solid does this thing where, yeah, it's off the walls, it's bonkers. It's the same thing with Metal Gear Rising, how everyone's like saying, like, that's not believable, Raiden can't cut Rey in half. Did you see what he did in 4? He held back the Arsenal gear with one arm. But no, it's like, not even that. It's when Metal Gear Solid 5 does this thing where I didn't believe a fucking lick of that, of where you're getting haunted by this fire ghost, where it's like, okay, I could believe it, but could you add some connection to it? Okay, Psycho Mantis, I mean, alright, loosely based. And then you've got the Parasite troops. Okay, now you're busting my balls here.
Yeah, the Parasite troops are just...
You're busting my balls on this one. You actually make me go, that's questionable for the Metal Gear universe. No game should be able to do that, but lo and behold, it did. So, final verdict on that, Metal Gear Solid 3 is an amazing prequel, and you should play it. Metal Gear Solid 5, rent it. Just so you can play Take On Me and, like, take out a shit ton of soldiers.
No.
What did Skullomania even do?
Theme.
What did Skullomania even do in Metal Gear Solid 5?
Skullomania?
He did the virusy thing, but the virusy thing didn't work out, so Skullomania didn't survive.
Such a lust for revenge.
Whom?
Would you like to move on to the next topic? Do you have any other sequels and prequels you would like to talk about?
Can we talk about Re for a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we talk about the fucking
Tokyo Ghoul Re?
constant fluctuating fucking quality going on in Re that's pissing me off. It makes me not want to read it right, really.
Ghoul Ray.
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul is my favorite fucking story in the history of fucking forever. I love Tokyo Ghoul so much. I'm a fucking Tokyo Ghoul shill.
Now what about Re?
Re, no. Re... I liked Re a lot at first, because I was still a super Tokyo Ghoul show, and I didn't... Until I got later on in the manga, until I realized, are they repeating Ken's character development? Is that what they're doing right now?
Are they turning him into Atherin?
We're making Atherin Zala from Seed, and that's what they were doing. But I think it was the point. But the problem is, instead of like spending time in like getting on Ken like they used to for making mistakes, like it did in that fucking whole scene with Rize and Jason and fucking Tokyo Ghoul, that whole entire great fucking couple of chapters and a great last episode of season 1. They just kind of glossed over it, like they're doing with a lot of the characters in this game, this fucking manga. Character development.
A game.
What
it has
about,
like multiple games.
Then you got Toru Mutsuki, who's yandere as fuck.
What the fuck? Toru did not need to have this stupid ass backstory that she has.
She was raped with 10,000 dicks.
Like, I get like fucking. Like wanting to be of use and like building up into being like a useful soldier and being in like because she was the weakest fucking one of the group next to Psycho. Well, even Psycho was better with her cognitive than she was. She was just fucking lazy. Mutsuki literally had nothing going with it. He couldn't even like make his cognitive come out. And fucking.
Did you just assume Mutsuki's gender?
He, she, shglee, binary numbers, fucking
0011000. I thought I saw it too. Twos don't exist.
Fucking, oh my god. It's like, instead of just being this simple character development, oh, well, I want to be useful because I hate being the fucking only weak one in the group. It had to be this stupid, oh, I suppress memories of my childhood of when my dad used to beat me and I'm a fucking blackout serial killer, like I'm the fucking origami killer man. And fucking,
I'm the origami killer.
And they've been hinting at who's gonna fucking succumb to their Kagane first out of the Q squad. And everybody's thinking, oh, it's gonna be fucking Urie. Nope!
He had good character development. Good for Urie. Actually has some very good character development.
Yeah, he really does have good character development. He's one of the better characters in the movie. And Shirazu had good character development as well. Too bad he's fucking dead now. Too bad he's fucking dead now.
Hey, how was that
Shaved his head. That's what killed him.
How was that Nutcracker fight, Shirazu?
I got PTSD.
Strauss shaving his head is what killed him.
Yeah.
Chicken head.
And Psycho finally became useful and actually is actively doing stuff now.
Then they shoehorned in that stupid love arc between her and Urie out of nowhere.
Why? Why? This isn't Seed, or everybody has to be fucking somebody else.
Everybody's getting laid in Seed.
Everybody's getting laid in Seed. Somebody's always fucking somebody in this show.
Well, in a sense, everybody got laid in Double O as well. It's just
Except for Setsuda. Setsuda didn't get laid.
he got to be inside his Gundam all the time. What are you talking about?
During the joint operation where everyone teamed up against Celestial Being, everyone got to be inside of their Gundams for straight days. I want to be inside you and not come out for the entire day.
Setsuna was raw dogging that shit.
But fucking back to Ree. Shit. What was another massive complaint I'm usually talking about with Ree?
How shock value is constantly being used.
Oh yeah, this fucking,
The Ken clones.
the Ken clones.
O-Guy, that's what they're called, the O-Guy.
The Ken clones. They're all essentially Rize clones as well because they're just made from Rize. Is Kagane.
But they're just Ken though.
But they're really just Ken.
Yeah.
Because Ken was a successful clone of Rize.
And Arima was just a bad hybrid.
Using the word clone very loosely.
Yeah, very cavalier use of the word clone. And fucking Arima was like a super soldier that was like a failed Kagane experiment. Really,
You didn't win.
You didn't win.
So instead of becoming a fucking Q, he just became a superhuman. Which is what happened to like a lot of kids from that.
Yeah, he became a super.
garden.
Like again, that's what made Arima so great was the fact that he came like in Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, he was just a myth. He was a legend.
I thought the thing about Arya that made him so great was the size of his chin in the anime.
Shut up. Oh,
no,
God.
it's like.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about Ree in our little reboots and remix sections, okay?
But yeah, but that fucking it was like with Arima, it was like this guy was already a scary son of a bitch in Tokyo Ghoul, and then they explain about how that worked, and not only is that tragic, that's just horrifying because of what is going to happen to Ken.
Like yeah, sure, he got the effects of becoming superhuman, but it also fucked with his aging process, and he was dying super fast now.
I'm actually 4 years old.
He had gray hair and cataracts.
At 30 years old.
Why wasn't he wearing sunglasses?
He looked too cool.
And the whole point of Ken's job when he was still going around his high school was to make a new Arima, which he didn't really succeed at. And fucking now, fucking what's his name? Fuck. Juzo is now the new Arima, and he doesn't give two shits about that role at all.
Which is good for Juzo's character, honestly, because I think I'm kind of liking how at least one
Pockets.
Run your pockets, little nigga. No, the best part of Juzo is the fact that Juzo has matured, and that's one thing I really do like. And I do like how they're at least being consistently decent with Juzo, and the fact that he's keeping an ear to the ground because he knows there's something rotten in the CCG. But that's...
A lot of people do. Even the fucking Qs are like, yeah, this place is... This something's wrong here.
You got crazy little candy boy over there acting like that, then some shit's up. But I think the bigger problem with that,
Furuta is such an underwhelming villain, really.
Yeah, he's the end game villain.
But like he hasn't really showed up until recently, and he hasn't really had much of an impact. He's the whole reason that
he did throw that girder on Rize, so
and the Ken was just there because that's how things played out. There is no actual point in him being the person he is.
Yeah,
it could have been anybody. He's just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
And that does add something to Ken's character, but it kind of takes away a little bit from Ferrata's character.
He went after a 9 when he should have settled for a 7.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of numbers, Toka going from a...
And in the end, he kind of did settle for a 6.
Toka went from a 6 to an 8 in Ree, because Toka at the beginning of Ree was...
And then what happened?
She dyed her hair.
She dyed her hair again.
She dyed her...
That was a 6 again.
She went to an 8, and, like, Tuck and I can agree how Toka was just, God, just glorious in that Re.
What happened to flexible foreign girl?
Flexible foreign girl.
Oh, the fucking Chinese chick that's with the Qs?
Yeah.
The Chinese chick's with the Qs. She's still around. She just doesn't do anything fucking plot relevant. She's just there because they needed to do Qs.
The new Q squad members don't really hold much leeway because we have already established characters from the Q squad, and also these new Q quads are serving as cannon fodder half the time.
They're just filling in a hole in the squad. That's all they're doing, really. They don't really have much character. Like, the only new member that really has character, the only new one that really has any semblance of character is the guy who fucking has his hair covering his eyes all the damn time because his aunt's fucking legs were chopped off by Ken.
Yeah.
Ballin'.
Shun, it's fantastic.
Oh god.
I think the bigger problem with the Re is also, like I said, like it does this like shock value shit too much. It's like the whole deal, like the biggest turning point for the shock value was Mutsuki blacking out and killing Torso.
It's like, okay, we're getting like I even tweeted that Tokyo Ghoul's a little too ridiculous even for me. It's just shock. It's becoming Attack on Titan. That's not the route I want to go. Because Attack on Titan's fucking garbage.
Not to mention how
Attack on Titan's been garbage.
Go ahead.
Attack on Titan's been garbage. It's fucking day one basically. It's always been garbage. Fucking you can only kill a Titan by cutting at the nape of the neck, but you can't decapitate them. It makes no fucking sense biologically at all. Because Attack on Titan is made by a fucking hack who's just venting his frustrations from growing up on his fucking schoolyard bullies.
Kill them all, Tomino, to calm down.
Yeah,
calm down, you fucking angsty ass piece
one
of
of the
shit.
greatest writers of Gundam, the guy who's good at killing everybody, said, "You might need to calm down a bit, sir."
You need to finish Zeta. Oh my god.
I'm trying to find a DVD box set. I'm just buying the box set. I'm just saving myself the trouble of like streaming sites because my phone's stupid.
The Blu-ray's out.
I'll just get the Blu-ray. It's $35. Okay, that aside, but not even that. How underwhelming the Aogiri disbandment was. Oh god, they
really just fizzled out instead of going out with a fucking bang.
I mean, yeah, par for the course, but at the same time, it was just wow. The Aogiri was already a threat beforehand, but now
they were good Akatsuki, really.
Not leader of Aogiri.
Yes, that's the. There you go, Tuck.
The not leader, who fucking had beef with one of the investigators, but we never really got any more than they had beef from their past.
Other than that, his big brother.
Yeah.
Other than that, his big brother got murdered by an investigator back in China.
Who fucking cares?
His girlfriend and his friends from the group he rolled with in China got fucking ripped to shreds by one of the investigators, and so that's why he's here in Japan because he's Chinese.
I fucking hate Chinese.
Yeah, this guy was constantly like being loomed over in Tokyo Ghoul, the first part of it, where he's like, man, this guy has not shown off anything what he can do, and then they finally show off what he can do, but it's a little too late. The guy gets murdered.
And he dies right after.
Yeah, and he gets murderized by fucking the new owl, which I don't. God, they went too far.
My Kagure is a dragon.
They went too far with what's his name, Tawa something. The rookie investigator that got wrecked looking for Amon at the end of Tokyo Ghoul. What was his name?
Oh, fucking Takazawa.
They went too far with Takazawa being a new owl. That was fine and dandy, but when they finally looked into his backstory, why did it have to be his family he ate?
Why did it have to be his family that they fed? It could have been literally. Oh god.
Again, it would have been just as symbolic of him eating another human and him abandoning his humanity. Like that would have been fine. It could have just been a human. It didn't have to be his family because that just, if anything, no. His family staying alive would be an even bigger tragic part because they think their kid was his mom thinks her son's dead and his sister's worried about him.
And then he'll probably show up as a fucking ghoul and they'll be terrified of him.
It's like there you go. There's some real heavy character bit right there where you can actually show that he's stuck between two worlds like Ken was. Meanwhile, I'm fine with them going the whole Ken realized I didn't really have a lot going for me in the human world. I'm fine with that. He kind of accepted that.
I like books.
Nobody really likes it except for this one guy who I fucking ate. I ate my
They
best
never
friend.
confirmed it. They confirmed it.
They confirmed it. He ate his best friend.
Also, not
He
even.
ate Hide because Hide let him eat it. He let Ken eat him.
He's like saying
So he
like,
can stay
hey,
alive.
not even that. It was also like, also again, one congratulations to Tokyo Ghoul Re as tasteful sex scene. Good job.
Tasteful nudes.
But also the ghoul wedding outfit.
What the fuck? Where'd you even get these from? Ghouls have been pushed underground because of fucking Furuta's goddamn warmongering. There's no
This
place
is
that's
the
safe for them. on the
Ghoul
fucking
traditional
surface.
wedding outfit. You're Japanese.
We're all Japanese. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, whatever, man.
What costume store did you raid?
Also, what the fuck are you even talking? Like, you guys are still trying to figure out where the fuck is the link between ghouls and fucking humans, and I think we're actually starting to get some of that now.
Oh, with the underground city?
Yeah, with fucking what Ayato's doing right now.
What I'm
Because even the ghouls down there don't think they're ghouls; they think they're fucking humans.
yeah, they don't know what a ghoul is. Honestly, also good for Ayato. He had good character development at least. Also, he's trying to get up in that Hinami.
Mostly because Ken called him out on his bullshit.
Broke 103
Hey.
bones.
Not in the anime.
Not in the anime.
Shut up.
Reed's bad. I mean, fuck, not Reed. Reed fluctuates in fucking. Reed really fluctuates in quality, but still okay.
Starts off at an 8, dips to a 7, really dips down to a hard 6, and then kind of fluctuates between 6 and 7 as of now.
And fucking Rude A is the real travesty here.
Rude A was horrifying. I actually watched it all. Ugh. Jeez.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna talk about fucking God Eater's fucking anime and reboots and remakes, okay?
Oh, wait, we're talking about remakes and reboots now?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's start.
Alright.
Done with sequels and shit.
Remakes and reboots, 1, 2, 3, go, God Eater. Lindo is a saint.
Lindo is a fucking saint. Anybody who's played God Eater knows from the very first time you see Lindo is no fucking saint.
He's dumb.
Lindo will
The
literally
director said if I saw him, to tell him go see you. Alright. Don't tell him you saw me.
he immediately shirks duties the second you see him. That's not a saint.
Also, he's
And
constantly
fucking-
trying to. He's also constantly like like trying to hit up Sakuya for some beer and shit.
He's a fucking moocher and he's kind of lazy. That's not what a saint does. Fucking Lindo in the anime has no personality and he's fucking made a goddamn safe haven.
Lindo in the anime is Jesus.
It's literally basically Jesus who made a safe haven for people outside of the walls because they're not compatible with a fucking
Origami trees.
origami trees.
Excuse
What? How? Where did you even
To
get?
protect this new little outfit I made from origami, I made origami trees. Don't get too close to them. Proceeds to get close.
They'll eat you if you touch them. What? How would you even? How does these even work? Did you put like oracle cells in tree seeds?
How does no one know you took this shit?
How does none of the
How-
engineering R&D
There's
department know
no.
about
The main
this?
way of transportation in God Eater is by plane or helicopter. How does nobody see this? There's a giant fucking forest of fucking origami trees and a fucking dam and a couple of buildings that are basically virtually untouched by origamis eating the buildings. How does
The
nobody
oracle
know
cells
this?
would react to it. They get a signal from them.
They get a signal from the fucking oracle cell trees because that's how they track origami. So what the? How do they even? That makes no fucking sense. Lenka's a fucking super Mary Sue, by the way. Lenka's
I don't know
probably
what you're talking about. This is my God Eater character. If he wanted to, he could get cancer and turn Super Saiyan.
Wait, oh yeah, yeah.
It's fucking okay. No,
Also,
high compatibility.
Also, ampules don't do anything aside
Okay,
from.
Spirits, can you go Spirits? Can you go prep Blood Marriage for me for a second, please?
Do I have to?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So go when I say so. All right. Okay. Lenka's whole thing is that his Godar compatibility, his Orbital compatibility is off the charts. So it's giving him like origami cancer, where his fucking body is basically turning into an origami. His hair turned gold, and his fucking eyes are turned gold, and his fucking orbital cells destroying his body and shit like that. But it doesn't really destroy him; it just recedes for no fucking reason. And
that it makes no sense because Gladiator 2 was out before this game even came out. Rageverse was out before this came out. And fucking the thing with off the charts compatibility with the fucking Oracle cells is that it turns you into this fucking mode that spirits. Blood Rage.
A little too early for that, wouldn't you say?
Pause.
Yes.
That's Blood Rage. Blood Rage is what happens when your fucking Oracle cell compatibility goes off the fucking charts. It's a fucking super form where you're untouchable and just a complete fucking origami killing machine. That's what it does. That's not what happens in the fucking anime. Just like the serious anime, the fucking anime, the Gladiator anime likes to shit on lore from the games.
I love you, Ufotable. I do. But whoever's directing these like games to anime thing that they're doing, please stop.
Somebody who
They
doesn't
fucking
know,
suck.
like somebody who doesn't know
They're clearly
anything.
not playing the games and just doing whatever the fuck they want.
Pretty much, Lindo's Jesus. Also, Sakura doesn't like being touched.
Oh, also, you know what would have made Gladiator so much better? Incestual undertones.
Oh god.
Yeah, that was like his fucking backstory.
Hey, remember Alyssa's reveal in the anime?
Just fucking
The first thing you see of Alyssa. Undershot.
Gladiator and Zestiria's anime is the like fucking Alicia and Rose show, while Gladiator's anime is the fucking Alyssa show.
Oh my god.
You go on a mission with Alyssa before you go on a mission with Coda. Why does Coda show up in fucking default Fenrir gear and then shows up later in his fucking actual outfit? That makes no sense.
Why do we have a mission with Alyssa before Coda?
That makes no fucking sense. And Alyssa's just an even bigger bitch than she was in the fucking video games. Like, why didn't you kill that origami? Why did you just let him try to kill
Well, I
us?
got my quota for today. That's not how this works.
That's not how that works at all. They are... Why do you... yeah.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. And fucking... Back to the incestual undertones bullshit that I really don't want to talk about. During... It's even worse because this is basically the arc. It's the backstory that rips off Attack on Titan. Where fucking... Oh, my settlement got fucking attacked by Titans, and my fucking caretaker got trapped under rubble, and me and my sister, or my not sister, tried to save them, and they sacrificed themselves while getting eaten by the certain thing that's attacking our fucking home. And then I have to watch as we run off and see my fucking mom/dad fucking get eaten.
Reveal that they're actually just blood buckets.
Fucking... There's no gore. God Eater's anime edges up the series so hard, and everybody's just a fucking blood bucket, like it's Elfen Lied or some stupid bullshit. Instead of, like, fucking showing intestines. If you're gonna be gory, do it all the way.
If you're gonna get hit and show a lot of blood, anything that isn't hitting the stomach region or the chest, you can go ahead and make as much blood as you want, but if you hit that core region, go all in.
Yeah, show some innards, please.
Leica over here takes... The first fight with the Diaspeda was super edged up in this anime, by the way. And Leica gets his fucking stomach ripped open and spews blood profusely, and then
And he's fine.
And he gets stabbed multiple times by the Diaspeda's blades.
Like, I get that
And he
there's
comes out
some,
completely fucking fine.
I get that there's some censorship involved, but
There's no censorship in the anime, by the way.
Okay, I think it's just inconsistency because, like, is nobody aware that your stomach or you near your chest region holds a lot of organs? Your kidneys, your gallbladder, your intestines.
While Leica was running away with his fucking not sister, she gets scratched by a Congo, and it fucking that Congo scratch turns into like a full blown like Oracle cell infection, and it keeps her from running, and she has to sacrifice herself for Lenka. And
Okay, alright, Joey.
Yeah.
which makes
I want you to splice this into a video. This the way they know what we're supposed to be talking about when you get hit in the stomach.
Alright, I will save that picture.
oh my
Yeah.
God. And fucking like fuck. Okay, I'm gonna explain the two things that are wrong with this scene. the first thing was the fucking super incest angle that they super shoehorned in for no reason at this scene.
That's just Japan.
When
That's just
his sister
Japan. Okay, man. That's just Japan.
That's just Japan being a fucking gross ass fucking disgusting people that they are. Fucking showing this. Oh, in the afterlife, she sees a vision of Lenka, and she goes up to hugs him and says, "Oh, I love you, Lenka. Fucking fuck me here. This fucking bed of daisies right now."
Whoa!
And then the second part is that she took a fucking tiny ass scratch, and that basically fucked her leg. But Lenka over here can take multiple fucking stabs and cuts from a Diaspida and still come out perfectly fucking fine.
You know. I take that back. There is another anime that actually did that. Whatever Spirit's talking about, that little organs thing, and talking about losing your intestines. Before like we go off on the incest rant, Hero Academia, where All Might fought Toxic Chainsaw. No, he didn't.
They didn't show it, but oh god, they talked about it.
They talked about it, and he shows his scar, and they went into depth saying, "Oh yeah, I lost more than half of my stomach in that battle." Like,
They had to replace his respiratory system.
that is what happens when you get stabbed in a general body region. So yeah, there's an example right there, but also Lenka boning his sister.
Oh, like the whole episode is spent like, well, like it wasn't even the first whole. It was like the first like wait, no, it was like the latter 13 minutes of the fucking episode was spent fucking like hinting at this whole stupid incest angle because Japan's into that for some fucking reason.
Fans
they're
super
okay
into
with
that because it's in their lore.
Well,
yeah, they're into cousin fucking, but you can't fuck your sister. No, that's wrong.
Look, I am your brother and you're my sister, but we're not actually the related.
by the way, before we all get labeled as xenophobes, two blacks and a Mexican, we're going to, like, I could probably...
Black Mexican is a fantastic drink.
That is. Isn't that like a tequila?
Something like that.
No, aside from that, I gotta find the link. Maybe I will probably post the link somewhere about how somebody did understand, like, actually go into the research about Japan's over-incestual tones in both its, like, writing and stuff. But apparently, I'm gonna have to cite myself on this one. I remember somebody posting this old article back in, like, the 80s talking about how there was this weird generalization, like how the father would have to be so busy sometimes he would never really come home, so it was like the young child's duty to bone his mom. Like, that was one of the fucked up things I read about that. And again, I don't think it pervades today, currently, but...
I think Japan still kind of does that. Because if the male and the female, if the male is now impotent, they'll go ask the brother of the male or like the sister of the male if their kid can bone their wife so they can have a kid. I think that's still prevalent.
You'd have to cite us on that, and that's all I'm saying. I don't often ask my viewers to, well, our viewers to, do homework, but time to go do some homework, kids.
Ugh.
It's in my code.
But yeah, just God Eater's anime is just a...
Oh yeah, they also ruined Soma's character development.
Oh god.
What did they do to him?
Like, Soma's whole thing is that he's struggling with the fact that he's basically a fucking...
He's a half
abomination of
origami,
nature.
essentially.
He's an abomination of nature, and he fucking...
Yeah, like, that's what the
fact
game
that he's-
establishes. The game definitely establishes that.
Yeah, and the fucking show is like... fucking... You know how the game Soma is like, all those people who died on a fucking mission with me are just fucking shit at their job? In the anime, it's like, oh yeah, that was totally my fault. That's why I'm fucking a loner and shit. Like, no, that's not his character development. No, it's not. Fuck.
No, again, I think, yeah, and not to mention Shio was, like, the best angle to do Soma's character development. God, that still kind of hurts. But yeah, just, Soma's character development in the game is great, but the anime decides to, botch that. Jesus fucking Christ. But no.
Speaking of bad reboots, I've been rereading the Circuit of Freak series, and this series is still as good as I remember it. Jesus Christ. Despite what the movie says, 'cause that movie is fucking garbage. That movie was garbage.
What movie?
The Circuit of Freak movie was fucking awful.
Oh god.
Which is why it never got a
Vampire spiders.
It was so bad.
No,
Fucking, it's shoehorned in literally all 12 books into one movie.
What?
In like an hour and a half time span. I'm like, what are you guys
how
doing?
can you do that?
It's shoehorned in all three books. It fucking shoehorned in Circuit Freak, Vampire's Assistant, Tunnels of Blood, Vampire Mountain, Trials of Death, Vampire Prince, Hunters of the Dusk, Allies of the Night, Hunters of Dawn, Sons of Destiny, fucking Wars of Shadow, and Sons of Destiny. Fucking, oh god.
You compressed all 12 of those books.
You compressed every single book into one movie.
You can't.
And you thought this was gonna work.
You can't do that, like at all.
That's not.
But no.
And this is probably the same reason why the fucking Percy Jackson movies didn't work.
I can't think of any reboots right now.
Since we're already on the talk of remakes and reboots, there is a very clear distinction I wanted to establish as to what counts as a as a reboot and what counts as a as a remake and a reboot. Like a reboot is basically where they decide to refresh the series in the sense that where it's like what they tried so vainly to do with DMC Devil May Cry or what do you call it is Bionic Commando in that sense of a reboot. A reboot's basically we're going to scrap a good chunk of whatever didn't work and try to make our own new distinct thing. Whereas a remake, if we're talking about games usually, or like books to movies, or like a remake or some shit like that, remakes usually do take some liberties, but for the most part, there are some remakes that are good, like the Crash Bandicoot remake series. That was perfectly fine, honestly. Hitboxes are still a bit wonky, but
Holy shit.
yeah, the Crash 1 hitboxes are still iffy. But I think a good example, the HD remake of Devil May Cry, perfectly fine, except for the twitchy aiming reticle at times. But reboots and remakes, I already talked to death about DMC Devil May Cry, but I will talk about a reboot that was actually good, that I love, and I wish games would take more notes on how to do, like game developers would understand how to do a proper reboot. The Strider series has been a long-running, obscure game. Like, Strider 1, good luck finding a copy of that anywhere. You could find it somewhere on sale for like $100+. But what gave Strider his popularity, it wasn't exactly Strider 1 success, which it had an amicable story, but is forgettable at the least, whereas Strider 2, when it went over to the PS1, was one of the best side-scroller beat-em-up / hack-and-slash games you will ever play, in the sense that it knows how to meld 2D and 3D properly way before Beautiful Joe was at it, and then again, this was back in Capcom's heyday when they were not afraid to experiment. Whew. And Strider 2 was a great game in the sense that it actually had a bit more lore added into the series, where they were talking about what constitutes as a Strider, what are the prerequisites for being a Strider, and the prerequisites for being a Strider is the most heinous shit ever. It's like, okay, we take all of our recruits, we send them to this death camp, and only 10% of our recruits usually survive, and by then, after that, we evaluate you on a scale of Class C to Super A or S, depending. And Class C Striders are usually known to can take out an army. A Class C Strider, the lowest of the low, the weakest of the weak, they can take out an entire army. B, it can take out platoons. It can take out an entire country's military. A and Super Striders are tasked by themselves to topple entire regimes and countries and an entire military infrastructure. Like, that's how insane half the shit the Striders have to go through is. Now, Strider 2 added that little bit of lore, but I think the best example of how to do a reboot was the Strider remake that came out in 2014, the Strider reboot that came in 2014, took the story elements of Strider 1 and Strider 2 and meshed them together immediately, because, honestly, if you go by the manga of Strider, it's the fact that, yeah, you had Grandmaster Mayo, who was ruling the world for a while. I'll go call Grandmaster Mustard while we're at it. you were just waiting for it.
Mayonnaise.
Anyway, Grandmaster Mayo, spelled with an E-I-O, took over the world, and it was the Striders' organization job to take him down. And they said, you know what? We're gonna send our best operative out there, Strider Hiryu. And he goes out on his mission, and he fucking myrtleizes Mayo. He, you know...
Say that.
Good.
Oh my god.
And in the
Just say that.
and in the upcoming sequel of Strider 2, we get an introduction to another Strider Hiryu, but this is 2,000 years in the future, and while Mayo did not get myrtleized, instead, they just put him in the refrigerator in a nice little jar for 2,000 years.
Mayo's rancid.
Of course. Strider, in Strider 2, you establish that you are also Strider Hiryu, possibly named in honor of the amazing Strider who destroyed Mayo's previous order in the game. And you have your best buddy, Strider Hien. Oh man, this was a fun.
Every time I see Hien, it's like they wasted him.
He is such a wasted character because like you have no insight to his character other than what is being told. Other than, by the way, this is Strider Hien. He too is also he is a special A-class Strider as well. Okay, by the way, hold up, let me find, I found this, you're gonna like this. Apparently a Super A-ranked is an elite ranked only granted to the most talented graduated candidates in the Strider organization. Striders that can reach this rank are said to possess skills and abilities far beyond those of normal humans, as well as mastery of both armed and unarmed combat. They are the only agents allowed to use Strider's iconic weapon, the Cypher, and basically they are tasked with the most dangerous important missions, A-class, B-class, and C-class, if I remember correctly. Striders of C-class rank are almost exclusively seen carrying machine guns, and some use melee weapons such as concealed weapons. And B rank, yeah, yada yada yada, I already explained, well, like the level of shit they get operated on. But Hien was a wasted character in the fact that it's like, yeah, we have very little, like we have a lot of story to tell, but very little to do with it, so read the Wikipedia, but Hien was Strider's best buddy, best friend, but had a little bit of jealousy towards him. So he figured, maybe I can move up in the world if I awaken this ancient evil after only 2,000 years, not 10. And, first thing that happens is Mayo's like, fine, Hien, I want you to do me a solid, yeah? Kill the Strider Corps. Help me destroy the entire... Order 66! They Order 66'd the Striders with Hien's help because he had inside knowledge and shit, so... Every Strider gets wiped out because of Hien and his stupidity. And Hiryu shows up and proceeds to shake violently, saying, next time I see you, I will murder you. And he kind of did live up to that task towards the end of the game. So yeah, Strider 2. And then it ends up being this weird little adventure, amazing adventure between, like, cybernetic Nazis and ancient Chinese regime working together to take over the world. And at the very end of the game, Grandmaster Mayo is convinced that Strider Hiryu is the same son of a bitch that wiped him out 2,000 years ago. But instead of, like, Strider Hiryu answering that question, he just doesn't give him an answer and myrtleizes him. So the previous games had this weird lore to it. It had this weird lore that maybe Strider can live to be 2,000 years old. It's not out of the realm of the possibility in, like, this current future, but the remake decided to combine the games in that we're post-Strider 1, but mid-Strider 2, in that, yeah, a good chunk of the Strider Corps got wiped out still. Like, if you read, like, grab their materials, you grab their equipment, their colors and everything, you get a little bit of a backstory of what they were like. You had, like, Strider Oga and Kuga and shit, and Hien. Like, yeah, all fallen Striders. And it tells you their status. Like, was this dude KIA'd? Yeah, he was KIA'd. This dude's MIA. Missing, all that. But what Strider as a reboot does is it makes a more cohesive story. It keeps a lot of familiar faces from the previous game and stays true to their character, especially Hiryu's, and it combines them into a relatively short campaign run of like maybe 5 to 6 hours, but all in all, it knows how to ground itself. It does a proper transition in terms of 2D to 3D, and overall, it's a good game. It's fine, the controls are tight, it's a fantastic game. The music, a humongous improvement from the previous one. A lot of old returning faces like Solo and Mayo, specifically Solo, who's essentially the fucking... Capcom has this habit of making their own Boba Fett's, where these dudes just show up. It's like, we got Vile. Okay, Vile is always going to be this dude's lapdog forever.
But he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't. But
at first he wasn't. Then he got rebuilt.
Spirits, are you going through your Twitter retweeting old shit?
Yeah, some things, yeah. Are you enjoying some of them?
What are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah, so yeah, Capcom has this... Well, also, yeah, Capcom has that thing about making rival characters. Meanwhile, you've got fucking Solo, who was a decent remake of that, in the fact that we got to kill Solo this time around, and he had one of the more horrific deaths in that his jetpack gave out, and he flew straight into the ship's engine, causing it to crash. So, good for Strider being, good for Strider being a decent remake. I love it. I wish we would get more games like that, or a better homage to what Devil May Cry 3 was, because honestly, I think that was the bigger problem with the reboot of DMC Devil May Cry, and like, I know I've harped on it, but I could have been let a lot of that negativity go had we stuck to the original concept that was shown at the Tokyo Game Show back in 2010, where, yeah, he was some punk with, like, skunk hair who smoked a lot and all that, but I was like, when you see that, it's like, okay, I get it, you're going a different angle for Devil May Cry. I could have been fine with it, but then it just simply said, okay, you know what, we're not going to buckle under pressure, we're not going to give in to these fans, they don't know, these Devil May Cry fans don't know what Devil May Cry is about, and then they kind of caved under pressure. It's like, fine, we'll try to stay more true to the source material, but rather stay more true to the source material, they rip off Devil May Cry 3, and it is the worst iteration I've seen in a long while, in the fact that everyone keeps saying, like, oh, you know, you're just seeing things, or you're constantly, you have no right to compare it to its original. The problem is, I wouldn't compare it to its original if A, it didn't steal its story, it didn't butcher the previous characters, and B, the game itself not trying to do this nasty dick measuring contest where it's like, oh hey, did you like million stabs in Devil May Cry 3 and 4? Yeah, well, we have trillion stabs. Or... well, hey, we showed, and like the laziest thing is like, oh hey, we showed that we actually did our research. Why? Because you know, Dante steals a shotgun from Virgil in the novel. And it's like, oh yeah, Virgil has a shotgun. It's like, okay, first off, the fact that you know half of these quotes, that you try to, you know, like, establish some origin shows, not only did you do your research, but you ham-fisted the story in the stupidest possible way, because everybody knows the novel of Devil May Cry was fucking terrible. And Virgil killed a Jew. Fucking... Nell Goldstein. Her name was Nell Goldstein. She made Dante his ebony and ivory guns. Also, fun fact, in the novel, it says something completely different from what was established in Devil May Cry 1. Same thing with how it was called Devil Never Cry in Devil May Cry 1, but Devil May Cry 3 established, oh yeah, we're going to call it Devil May Cry, and...
Devil Cry Never.
Devil Cry Never. So, yeah, I think the biggest problem with some reboots and remakes is, if you want to go a different direction, do it, but learn to take criticism. Learn how to separate it from its source material, don't steal, and also, oh yeah, respect the previous fan base. Instead of constantly getting involved in this weird PR shitstorm that Alex Graham and Tamim Antoinatas wanted to constantly do, they could have easily just said, hey guys, I know you don't trust us with this, but we're gonna do our best. Just give us a chance. And I'll tell you, as someone who is a Devil May Cry fan, the Devil May Cry fandom is rabid. I mean, rabid. We've been infected since the day Devil May Cry 3 came out. Because you can't top that yet. We've yet to come across a game that can top Devil May Cry 3, so do that, then yeah, well, maybe we'll show a little bit of respect, but I'm not saying that as an excuse to be a vitriol-infused rapey child, but
I'm sorry?
that's what Devil May Cry fans are, and I will attest that we are very angry, we are very picky, and we are unsatisfied always. Why do you think Devil May Cry 4 got so much shit initially, despite it being a very good game? And the thing is, when you look back on it, you can't really blame Devil May Cry 4 or its team, because Capcom's a piece of shit who says, hey, you about halfway done with the game? Yeah, you lost your funding. Fuck off.
Run that by me again, nigga? Run that by me again, nigga?
So yeah, whatever new assets you had planned for the game, scrap them. But we're at the halfway point. You can work with that, right? Oh shit.
Oh.
Hope you like playing through the other half as Dante. But no, yeah, in terms of reboots and remakes, Strider Reboot is a game that you should, like, more developers should take notes from. Respect the source material. If you want to change up some characters, and fine, do it. But make it stick out on its own, because I'll be perfectly honest, I like the Strider Reboot more than I do Strider 2, and Strider 2 gives me a fucking raging hard-on in terms of good design. And DMC is how not to do a reboot, in the fact that also don't establish these retards who think they know what writing is. There you go.
It's almost Shakespearean.
Almost Shakespearean. I really hate that there are so many people that are willing to defend its writing. It's like, there have been plenty of better stories that did the whole, the government's run by demons story. It's been done to death too many times.
The government's corrupt.
No shit. And, God, I think the biggest problem with it is just the fact that not only do people defend it, but they say, well, honestly, it's better written than the original Devil May Cry. No.
Oh.
No, because, like, the initial, like, theme of Devil May Cry 3 was to be that, well, because this will transfer over into Devil May Cry 1, technically, but the initial theme of Devil May Cry 3 was the line between man and demon is often blurred by how skewed one's morality is, and that's seen vehemently between Virgil and Arkham and Dante. Like, Dante hates himself, and I love it. Devil May Cry 3, Dante hates himself. He doesn't know what he is. When Cerberus asked him, like, what are you? I was like, I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know myself. He resents his father in the most passive-aggressive way possible, and I like it because it shows there's some history, but they don't talk about it. Whenever he tells Virgil, like, yeah, father? I don't have a father. I just don't like you, that's all. It's that one line. The way the inflections, the way the game's delivered, it shows that Dante's aware of who his father was, but he also blames him for the shit hand he got dealt. Whereas Virgil knows who his father was, but rather than blame his father for his filthy... Daddy's little weeb. Rather than blame his father for the shit hand he was dealt, Virgil decides to revere his father and build his father up as this godlike deity like every other demon does. He builds his father up, he puts his father on a pedestal going, this is what I need to be. Where he doesn't reject his mother, but he has resentment because of the weakness of his mother, in the sense that Virgil's handled so well and he's crafted so amazingly in terms of what it means
now
to
turn
have...
slightly to your right and look at the reboot.
Virgil, yeah, like, DMC3 Virgil is how you properly do meth.
Hold up, there's like fucking shitlord neighbor again, skirting through the damn neighborhood like a piece of shit at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. The fucking cunt. Oh, fuck this guy.
But yeah, Virgil is the proper method done right of how to, like, he's the proper poster boy of how to do madness, and the fact that Virgil is indeed insane in Devil May Cry 3. He shows inklings of it throughout the game, like when he straight up tries to murder Arkham. We're saying, like, you clung to some sentimental fatherly love that you didn't kill your daughter. I don't think I can trust you. And the fact that he was willing to straight up murder Arkham for that is both telling, but the moment Arkham calls him out on his bullshit, saying, hey, you're a filthy half-breed as well, so, what you got against me? Virgil doesn't have a comeback for that. He just tells him to shut up and throws a little temper tantrum. And that's seen throughout the game, and where I think what expresses the madness of Virgil is this one bit alone. Virgil has nothing left. He has nothing other than the idea of his father, because that's all he has. He doesn't have his father. He doesn't understand what his father stood for. He only has the idea of his father. He wants to work towards that. He has his brother, and the problem with Virgil is he wants his brother more than anything to see things his way. Because their first initial fight, he's like, he doesn't want to kill him. He just wants him, he keeps asking him, why do you refuse to gain power? Why do you constantly, hinder yourself? If anything, he's like that overly doting brother who's like, why don't you get up and do something with your life, you little
Joey?
shit?
Joey?
What?
I gotta stop your little tangent here.
Sorry.
It's 5 minutes from 3 o'clock.
My bad. But yeah, that's how you do a remake and reboot. Just follow Strider's points. If y'all got anything else, I'm sorry. I got angry. I was trying to avoid the GT train at least.
Yeah, good job, alright. Fucking idiot. we all fucking knew this wasn't gonna last an hour. Let's be fucking real here.
There's way too much shit to talk about, but do y'all have any remakes or reboots that are any good?
I don't think I went into enough detail about the series anime, honestly.
If you would like to, go ahead.
Oh god.
You know how, Zesteria likes to pepper in Berseria's bullshit in the anime all the damn time?
Yeah.
It literally has no bearing on anything going on in the plot.
No, it doesn't.
It was literally just an ad. Anything Berseria related is just an ad for the game and nothing else. It's like, oh, we're gonna have fucking 2 episodes dedicated to fucking Velvet, but this literally has no fucking. Mind you, these episodes came right at the end of an episode where a fucking tornado is about to hit Lady Lake. So
yeah, the fucking tornado is showing up. Plot points are happening, and then let's get the Berseria. Let's advertise that for a little while.
Wait, you serious? That's what the anime does?
Yeah, there was a fucking tornado at the end of the last episode, and then just suddenly cuts to, let's fucking just advertise Berseria for a second.
A second.
For fucking, basically an hour of your fucking life collectively. And then the game, no, not the fucking game. No, the game wouldn't be stupid enough to do this. The rest of the show is, it's just rewriting Zesteria's fucking story and lore because the fucking director didn't play the fucking video game. And fucking Maven broke his oath.
Yeah.
Maven broke his oath. You're not supposed to know what Maven is until near the end of the game. Because the oath is, if you tell people what you are, you're going to die immediately.
Are you gonna, drop dead, or are they gonna send someone out to kill you?
Drop dead.
Oh.
You drop dead.
Jeez.
He still had a few minutes to fucking get one last fight in to see if you're determined enough to go through what the shepherd's supposed to do, and then he drops dead because that's what the oath entailed.
Oh, so did he just turn around and just so let me get this straight? He just
No,
turned around.
he died in Soray's arms.
Oh, because
And then the anime.
The anime is like, oh, I'm the storyteller of time. It's like you're not supposed to tell anybody that, and they're not supposed to know that until the end of the fucking series. And he's still walking around like nothing fucking matters. And it's made even worse when he they fucking talked to the king of fucking Rollins, who was not in the game, by the way.
Yeah.
King of Rollins, who's like, oh, the first storyteller told my great grandpa about about how the world really works. And I guess the first storyteller was fucking Magalu, and Magalu's a fucking terrible character, by the way.
Magalu could have been great.
Magalu could have been a good character, it's just that nothing she does makes any fucking sense.
Even joining the group?
Not really.
She had no good reason to join.
She didn't really have any reason other than I want to see how this shit plays out.
Let me guess, she didn't get no character development throughout anything?
They tried, but it wasn't written well. It's like, oh, well, I think that humans should have free will, but I'm gonna actively be okay with the fact that fucking Velvet's just gonna go kill off an entire village and not say anything about it.
The Abbey.
The Abbey.
That doesn't sound threatening at all.
You can't name your big bads the Abbey.
Okay. You know what? Okay, Tuck, explain what the Abbey are and why people should be afraid of them, but it's the Abbey.
Explain their stupid fucking plan.
The Abbey is a group of exorcists that enslave seraphim to do their bidding so they can battle malevolence or the Hellions. But as in Berseria's world, they're called demons, and the thing that causes demons is called the Demon Blight. Why they changed the name of Hellions and fucking Seraphs, I don't really know. But whatever, man. And so, Artorias' plan is to suppress the emotions of humanity, because humans generate malevolence. And by doing that, you need to summon a Nominot, which is... Nominot makes no fucking sense! An Nominot's supposed to be a fucking Seraphim. He's his own person, but he turns into fucking... Velvet's little brother?
What?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Huh.
It makes no fucking sense, because to summon an Nominot, you just sacrifice 3 people to this fucking little hole outside of a ball, which is Velvet and Lavaset's hometown. What's the first one was Velvet's sister? Well, no, I don't fucking remember, dude. Verseria's bad. Doesn't matter.
And now we got other groups called...
Hold up now. Hold up. The Abbey. They're planning to get rid of the emotions thing?
Yeah?
Remember their logical thinking? Let's kill all the pets?
What?
Kill?
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
fucking,
I can...
hold on. No. Fucking... They put the suppression plan into motion. It started working. Even though that part still doesn't make any sense. We'll talk about that later. The plan started working, and people just started killing off pets because they served no purpose to the greater good of the world.
Because
some
of
girl went to
people's
her
emotional
friend's house.
connection to it. Don't it make sense to you, spirits?
What the fuck?
So some little girl went to her friend's house and got rid of her whole pet beetle collection and fucking just killed them, all of them, and said pets do not fucking serve any purpose to the progression of humanity. Therefore, I disposed of my friend's pets.
Dick.
Oh.
The
And
Abbeys.
it was getting to the point where humans are like, oh yeah, I generate malevolence, therefore I must kill myself so the world doesn't fucking suffer.
And that was the
Great
Abbey.
plan.
I think I'm done with this.
Oh.
Then you compare
God.
the Abbey to another group of
No, I
antagonists.
still need to talk about fucking Alicia and Rose a little more.
No, it's like...
Alicia's whole thing was to avoid the war between Rollins and Highland. And instead of actually actively trying to stop that, she was like, oh, I'm gonna lead my troops into fucking war. And Rose was like, yeah, I'll fucking help you. Rose, you got better things to do. I don't know what?
It's like, yeah, okay, so that was the Abbey. Meanwhile, okay, what about the Chimeriad?
Yeah, it's great.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's just like,
great.
okay, not only does
It's
the Abbey sound
the only thing that makes the Chimeriad
stupid...
not that... Okay, no, the only thing that makes the Chimeriad not as good as they could be is because we've already had their predecessors who are 10 times better.
The God Generals.
The God Generals.
in Tales of Abyss.
Yes.
Yeah. They're just as good, but there's probably no way they'd actually take them in a fight.
I don't know, man. They're pretty good.
That's just underwhelming when you compare the Abbey to those guys.
Jesus fucking.
The Abbey's really just... a
Not
bunch
to
of
mention,
lonely
considering this is
women.
Tales of the Abyss, I'm pretty sure their motivation is well written.
It is.
Very much.
It is, 'cause this isn't a bad
Fuck the
game
Bible.
like this one.
Okay then.
Oh god. Okay. I
And
think I'm out. I'm out.
you out too, Spirits?
Yes.
Well, that has been the official Rainbow in the Dark episode 2, everybody. I hope you appreciated our ramblings, and fuck off, I hate GT. Good night.
GT's fucking garbage.
Oh yeah!